Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Aussie Formula Racing here, Season 8, Round 3 from Saudi Arabia. I'm Gus Rules, and joining me tonight is Mr. Spicer. How you doing, mate?
Good yourself. How are you doing, Gus?
Pretty good, thank you. So, Tier 3 is done and dusted. Just loading into our Tier 1 lobby now. And here we go. Full qualifying format here for Tier 1, as opposed to our Tier 2 and Tier 3 coverage, which is short quali. Expecting these conditions, it is a little bit weird, but Codemasters doesn't give you a lot of tyres, so you'll expect to see a few drivers come out on the intermediates just to save some of their slick, so don't be alarmed if you see that. We're not expecting much rain here in Saudi Arabia as FIBA puts on the full wet tyres. I don't think so. Alright, Spicer, what are you predicting tonight? Any little tips coming out of the pit lane for any of these teams?
Oh, it's a bit of a hard one, just because that many corners around this track. It's you can't really pick it. Just one mistake and someone's in the wall. It might have a knock-on effect with everyone behind. But I reckon if you get a good clean start and pull away, I think you should be in the safe zone. Really.
Absolutely. I think with qualifying as well, this being a full qualifying format, it's going to put a lot more pressure onto the drivers to really bring their A game. Obviously, with short quali, you generally have 2 or 3 attempts to set a time, though we do see a few drivers crashing out in Tier 3. But with this extra element, the track limits are just so strict here in Saudi Arabia.
Already got FIBA going sideways around the track.
I expect there to be a few drivers just being extra careful on their first lap, just so they've got something on the board before they start pushing. Look at FIBA down here on the full wets. It's probably a little bit silly. Intermediates I can understand, but full wets, no.
There's just no grip there.
He may actually get the drop off for that. That's actually dangerous for the other drivers, because if there's any contact on a qualifying session, that's an instant grid penalty for both cars. So it's going to
make around a lot.
I think the stewards might actually be having a word with him there for that. But anyway, let's jump on board. I think, who have we got? Simdog in the Aston Martin going on his first flying lap. Let's jump on board. Mr. Spice, would you like to take it away?
Making a nice clean entry to turn 1. Very good through there. Very key to get this next corner right, just so you get the first sector knock-on effect with the corners.
It's such a difficult technical section, isn't it?
If you get one corner wrong, it has a knock-on effect for the next couple of corners, so just got to get each corner right.
You get that line wrong at all, and it's not just your lap time ruined. There's a fair chance you'll put yourself in the wall. So on the medium tyres here, Simdogger, so try to save a set of those slicks for a little bit later in qualifying. I don't want to push too hard on these tyres, not quite as much grip as the soft. Wouldn't want to end up in the wall. Oh, using every little bit of the road. This is very, very tight track limits here.
Done very, very well. Keep it together through there. Do you reckon we'll see a 125 tonight?
I think we might. I think in Q3 we might. The game does have a little bit of track evolution between the sessions, so I'm not expecting to see times like that, as we got a 128.489 there from Simdogger as he completes the first lap of Q1.
Trin around the wrong way.
Yes, has a Trin down there in the Haas. No wing damage from what I can tell, but he's spun it in a very awkward spot, and he's going to be careful not to impede anyone here.
It's quite a narrow track.
Absolutely, and lots of blind corners as well, so even though you might be completely stationary and out of the way, we've got a Ferrari round, there we go, just into the runoff area.
Combined with it? Yep. combined.
And of course, Mick Schumacher having a massive shunt there overnight in qualifying.
That was quite big, wasn't it?
Absolutely, he's to be extricated from the car, but posted up on Instagram that he's all good. So thankfully, he'll be back, hopefully for Melbourne, but he won't be participating tonight in the actual Grand Prix. Let's stay with Trina in the Haas for, oh, is he set to 201.473? I think he might actually be going again now. A lot of drivers opt to use the mediums rather than the inters for their initial runs. You can see just how little grip you get out of the corner on these harder compound tyres.
Well, it's one of those tracks too. I think you only really get one good lap in with the softs. Sometimes you get away with two, but with this track with that many corners, you only really got one shot at it.
Absolutely.
Trin getting it done quite cleanly there.
So at the moment, Pondon sits fastest with the 127.880 on the soft tyre. Simdogger sitting there with the 128.374 is the quickest on the medium tyres for now, but expect it to improve a little bit. We've got a number of drivers on out laps and quick laps at the moment. We'll keep an eye on those times. Actually seems like he's quite low on fuel at the moment. I don't know if he'll be able to get a full in-lap in before he goes into fuel save mode. He should complete this lap. He comes around the final corner, which have reprofiled for 2022.
What changes have they made?
I think they've just pushed a lot of the walls back a little bit further just to give the drivers a little bit more room and a bit more line of sight around corners, but nothing dramatic. Trin comes across fourth with 128.595. Eckham as well, sitting at 128.790 there for Aston Martin. Now, look for the field. We've got a few drivers on outlaps at the moment. And then we've got the Mercedes there of Ando Cat. About to start his lap on the soft tyre as well. Nice and tidy first couple of corners using fourth gear. Quite high up. Looks in across that inside curb. Looks a little bit loose though as it goes through there. Not quite hugging the curbs as much as he could. Absolutely maxing out the rev limiter in sixth gear.
Rear end of that car looks a little bit unsettled, but it's doing the job.
Yeah, it goes purple in the first sector. Comes through to the quick hairpin. But his teammates staying well out of the way there. Potsy, our defending champion, yet to score a point this season. Really uncharacteristically out of form. Hopefully he's able to pick up a few points here tonight. Another purple sector for Ando Cat. And he's come up to a bit of traffic here. We've got FIBA and the McLaren. We get a little so here from the McLaren.
Looks like he's not getting out of the way. Ooh. Definitely looked like he got a big toe there.
Oh, he touched the wall on exit there, Ando. Might scrub off a little bit of time, but I don't think he damaged his wing, so no harm done. And yeah, 127.758 there. I reckon he could have gone a little bit faster without that contact, but still a pretty solid banker lap there from the Mercedes driver. Going to jump back on board with T-Mac, who's actually invalidated, so we're going to move back onto... So here on the McLaren, just about to come across the line now on the medium tyres to complete his lap. Only good enough for 10th though with 128.938, and I think just behind him was the Red Bull of Geordie with 128.206 on some used soft tyres. So Geordie opting to just reuse the same set of softs to get through Q1, whereas a lot of drivers will be using a couple of sets, particularly if they don't think they'll make it into the final round of quali. Jump on board with Captain of Gold in the Alfa Romeo. Is currently in Sector 2. Not setting any particularly fast times in the sectors, but looks like it's pretty solid. It does go purple in the second though, as I say that, so pretty decent time there from Captain of Gold. His first full-time season in AFR.
Looking quite fast through the straight sections.
Absolutely. It looks like he might be running a little bit of a low downforce setup, just making him a bit extra slippery. And the Aston Martin there hopefully doesn't chop him off, but he will get a nice little toe here out of the final corner onto the pit straight, opens up the DRS. Doesn't stick in the slipstream of the Aston Martin. I would have thought he'd use that extra straight line speed. Goes P7 with 128.604, so solid time there. It should be safe. At the moment, we don't have a cutoff time yet. Looks like, there we go. Feedback setting 127.439 on the medium tyre as well, so that's a stonking lap there from the McLaren driver. And we now have a cutoff time of 128.938 there. Hero, the man at risk, down the bottom. Let's have a quick look here. So we've got Matt Cadabry, P16 at the moment. Hasn't set a representative time yet. He's on a set of soft tyres. About 7.5 minutes left in this qualifying session, so plenty of time for drivers to come out and do 1 or 2 laps. They do have to manage their tyres as well, so they only get a finite number through all 3 qualifying sessions, so I'll be very careful with that. And here we go, Macadabri running very wide and deep at that final corner just to open up the corner, carry as much speed down this straight as you possibly can. And here we go, Red Bull opening up his DRS. And he goes for a representative time, braking just after the 100-meter board there. Turn 1, flicks it across turn 2. Using absolutely every centimetre of the track you can. Making it across the inside curb. Staying within those track limits. You can get away with some extensions here, but you have to be absolutely precise. And there he runs just a little bit wide, Macadabri, and that's going to hurt his time. He had to get right out of the throttle.
Well, not cut. Go purple first sector as well.
Yeah, still purple, but I don't know. I feel that might be a bit misleading. Unless the track's ramping up. He's actually invalidated there. He's run a little bit too deep onto the curb, and that is him done. So he's got 6 minutes to get back to the pits and chuck on another set of tyres, but he is currently in the elimination zone. So we're going to jump on board with T-Mac now, who's also in the elimination zone, currently going through the first sector, as Simdog goes set to 127.093 on the soft tyre. Great job for the Aston Martin driver. T-Mac gets another purple sector as well in the first, but never be quite sure how accurate
he hasn't set a time yet. Maybe. Very close to the wall through there, aren't they?
Yeah, and T-Mac just a little bit more conservative on that exit curve compared to Macadabri, who did invalidate there. So T-Mac as well, I think he's feeling the pressure a little bit. Let's go purple in the second sector, but he needs to set a time here. He does have enough time for another one, but he won't want to be doing a one-shot quali right at the death.
It's one of those tracks where you just hope you've got the grip.
Absolutely. You've got that inside curb as well there, where if you touch too much but at the wrong angle, it will spit you out hard into that outside wall. We saw a few people undone by that in Tier 3. Hopefully our Tier 1 drivers are all over it. T-Mac goes second with 127.248. I think his time will be safe now to get through to Q2 and jump on board with Artanis in the Williams. Just coming through Sector 1 now. No purple first sector. There we go. Currently, cutoff time is 128.884. Apollo Pepsi holds that time now. So Hero, Macadabri, Artanis, and Big Al all at risk. Flicks it in, using every little bit of curb he can get away with. Yeah, he's not setting those sectors alight like the others have, but this looks like a pretty solid lap. I think he's probably just making sure he gets one in the bank before the end of the session. Pretty tidy final corner, opens up the DRS on the pit straight, moves across to the left, trying to shorten the track distance as much as possible. He's actually used all of his deploy, but he goes P3 with 127.368, and I reckon he's probably safe as well. Going to jump on board with Mikau, who's our man at risk now. 128.778 is the cutoff time now. He's going to want to put in a pretty decent time here. He's in Sector 1. Looks like he might be running a little bit more downforce. He's not quite as quick. Oh, sorry, that's that again. He's running a little bit quicker through those corners. And we're
Half
seeing
a
some
second
others.
quicker.
There we go. So he's looking like he might improve to a 128.2. Surely there's some more time for him to find here in the second and third sectors.
He shouldn't have issues with traffic. They look like they're too far ahead.
Yeah, it looks like they've just got a Mercedes and a Haas in front, but they are pretty well down sector 3, so he should be alright. 8 tenths up now, goes purple in the second sector. So this is a great lap from Mick out here as we get him into the 127th. Opens up the DRS on this final straight. Run into the final corner. Runs it out wide, getting ready to cut back into this final corner. And this is looking pretty good. Opens up the DRS. Again, moves to the left to shorten it. Uses all this deploy again, up to P8 with a 127.651. I think he's going to be safe as well. Very good time there. Now he's going to jump back. Hero's actually invalidated this lap, so he's currently P18. He may have enough time here just to do one more run, but he is leaving it very late. 2 minutes 20 just flashed up, so he will have time. Jumping with Apollo Pepsi, who's about to finish his probably final run. And he goes 13th along, 27.938. Good time there by him. Now, Batemate there in the AlphaTauri is just behind him, comes across the line, and he improves up to 5th with 127.379. We've got a Ferrari as well. I think that's Crush, potentially. No, Crush is invalidated. It's going to be combined YouTube. Let's jump on board with him. He's currently at risk of being knocked out. Needs to find about half a second if he's going to improve. I see Simdogger's retired in the pit, so he thinks he's well and truly safe, and I'm inclined to agree. He's currently over a second clear of that cutoff time there, held by Geordie, which is a 128.206. Combined a little bit scruffy there through the first couple of corners in Sector 1. That might hurt him just a little bit. Combined is one of our pad drivers, I believe. You just tell by some of the inputs are a little bit more jerky compared to some of the front runners on wheel. And he has improved by 4 tenths here, so currently it's going to not improve it by any positions, but I'm sure there's some time for him to find as well throughout the rest of the lap. With a yellow flag and a bit of traffic, got T-Mac pulling across to the right, staying out of the way. He's looking quite committed now through the second half of this lap. He needs to find some more time if he's going to stay in qualifying. Comes up to the fast chicane, flicks it across under the going platform. Very committed, touches the curb. He might get a little toe here on the straight. He might need it to get through. Potsy moves across to the right, going very slow. He is going to stay away. And here we go. Combined YouTuber comes up to the final corner. He might get a little toe here from Eckham down the pit straight as he opens it up. DRS open. Uses up all of his deploy. He goes P12 for 127.738. He is safe for now. Jumping on board with Captain of Gold in the Alfa Romeo is currently in Sector 1. He's the only driver in that danger zone who is on fresh tyres. So we're going to follow him for the rest of the lap. Hero as well has just gone fastest for 126.693. He left it to the last minute. A lot of pressure, but he's delivered once again. He's through to Q2. Captain of Gold in the Alfa Romeo currently up by 2.5 tenths. That will get him into the 27s, but he needs to find a few more tenths. 127.843 held by Macadabry is the cutoff time for Q2. And I think judging by the laps that Apollo Pepsi and Geordie have done on those tyres, they are not going through. So it's all up to Captain of Gold here, who will be coming across the Q2 Sector 2 detection point in just a moment. What's it going to be? 2.5 tenths still. It's not quite enough. He needs to find another couple of tenths of this final sector if he's going to make it through. Opens up the DRS. There's no one in front of him to give him a tow. It's all down to him. He hugs it to the left, trying to shorten the distance of this lap. Runs it out wide for the final corner. He's going to open up, carry as much speed as possible through that final corner. Short shifts up to control the wheel spin, and now he's just going to open the throttle and the DRS. Move it in across to the left. Going to try and find a couple of tenths. What's he done? As 13th, he is through to qualifying 2, and that knocks Macadabry out of qualifying, and that is it for Q1.
Oh, what a Q1, eh?
Absolutely. We had a few front runners there right at the back, leaving it to the last possible moment to set a good time. But they did. But bit of a surprise there to see Geordie out and Apollo Pepsi as well. Usually they carry through to about Q2, Q3. But they are well and truly done. I think Combine's coming into the pits as well. Fever he's aborted his lap. So we are done. So Geordie, Apollo Pepsi, Pondon, and Matt Cadabry are out of qualifying. Matt Cadabry safe by just under 1/10 of a second. Yeah, Combat Apollo Pepsi's on 2-lap hold soft, so I think he probably found out pretty early on that he was well and truly dusted for that lap. GFGG, this is PC. Okay. And yeah, we've got a few pad drivers, as Combat pointed out. We do have, yeah, Mikau and Geordie on the pad. Most of the others are wheel drivers, though.
Yeah, I think the pad drivers have a little bit more difficulty in the sense of the left and right corners, because there's that slight delay as they're crossing over to the other side that the joystick doesn't recognize it straight away.
Yeah, we tend to see that quite a bit on these fast-flowing tracks with lots of corners. It's just that little bit more difficult to get that precision movement. And I can imagine doing a 45-minute race on pad with what, 19, 20 corners will be very painful. But as Bahrain is considered a bit of a pad track as well, so less corners as well. Just that little bit easier. So congratulations to Hero with the quickest time in that session, 126.693. Good job from him. But yeah, commiserations there to Macadabry, Ponzo, Apollo Pepsi, and Geordie. They are out of qualifying. Let's have a quick look and see the tyres used there. Looks like everyone just using medium and soft. A couple of using the 2 sets of soft tyres, so they've got through to the next qualifying session. They may find themselves with a little bit of a tyre problem. They might try and sort of bank a lap on the used tyres just to save a fresh set to Q3 if they do make it. But, well, we're about to get it underway. So just wait for the drivers to get themselves sorted out. It's a 15-minute session, this one. So less drivers, less time to get your laps in. Smitty, full quali smells bad. Thanks, Smitty. Lucky you just have to do short quali in Tier 2 a little bit later tonight. Here we go. Looks like what's your undercut? That's Potsy. So we'll jump on board with the Mercedes driver.
Then we've got T-Mac. That's heading out.
Starting to get a little bit darker as well, and track will just be a little bit more rubbered in, so we might see some quicker times here as well.
You'd need a lot of rest before this race, wouldn't you? Just that many. Is this the track with the most amount of corners?
I think it is. I think it's also the fastest street circuit out of any on the calendar in F1, so
you need all the concentration you can get.
Absolutely.
So,
looks like most of the drivers are out on track now. We've still got a number in the pits. Looks like about 50-50 split at the moment.
we get a weather report for
I dare say it's probably going to be dry. I'd be very surprised if we have another wet Saudi Arabia, but it has happened in the past.
T1 seems to get all the wet races.
They do. They get quite a few. Let's make sure I've got my tyres on there. So Potsy starting his first flying lap in Q2. Dry throughout, no rain from Apex. Thank you very much. As Potsy is invalidated. Was very, very quick. Did that around about turn 3, turn 4, and he is done. Going to jump on board with T-Mac now, who has also just invalidated us to jump on board with him. Commentators cursed anyone. I think that's Big Al. Surely he can't invalidate now that I've jumped on board on a straight. But we'll see. He comes into turn 1. Misses the apex though slightly. Oh, and a bit of wheel spin for good measure. But seems like he's got it all together. No, he's run a bit deep as well. He hasn't invalidated, but that's certainly not going to be the quickest way to go around the track. Have to get out of the throttle just a little bit
For those that don't know, this set of tyres that they set the fastest lap on is the set of tyres they have to start the race on.
I thought you were going to say, for those who don't know, Big L is Ali's brother who races in Tier 3, but no, that is a very good point.
That,
in F1 2020, sorry, in F1 2021, yeah, the fastest time you do in Q2 is the tyre you start the race on if you make it into the top 10. But that's actually not going to be the case on F1 2022. They've got rid of that rule, so kind of makes full quality a little bit pointless, but we'll see what happens on the next game. Good time so far from Big Al, apart from that little sketchy Sector 1. And guys in front of him have not set valid times, so he'll move to the top of this standing as long as he can go in a straight line without crashing. And he does go fastest 127.834.
Not a bad time.
Not bad at all. I'm going to jump on board. I think that's Tanis is going to come across the line next. He's there in the Williams. Go straight into the pits. Okay, fair enough.
Looks like they'll only have two chances or 2 runs.
Yeah.
Time it took too long getting out.
Absolutely. He might have just been doing a lap on some roaded tyres just to see how he goes, get his eye in a bit. His crash goes fastest to 127.269, or 0.6 quicker than Big Al there. Great time. We've got the Mercedes Vandercat about to cross the line, and he did right as I pressed the button, and he's 127.6, so second fastest there. I think that's Mikau about to start a lap, so I want to jump on board with Potsy, who's invalidated again, so his second lap has actually invalidated as well. Not great there from a Mercedes driver, but he'll be coming in shortly. Now, who else do we have on a lap? I think everyone else is on out lap, so it might actually be our lead AlphaTauri of Batemate. So jump on board with him as he comes through Sector 2.
Looking very stable through there.
Yeah, absolutely. AlphaTauris are been looking very good so far this season. I dare say they could be on for a fairly decent result in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. Very tidy so far. Batemate comes into the final corner. And this is looking very solid indeed. Had to come across the line. And second fastest, 127.285. He is 16 thousandths of a second slower than Crush. That's a great lap there. Have a look who else have we got on a lap. I think it's combined YouTuber. No, he's just started one. I think it's going to be Mikau completing his time next. Just realised I don't have the... there we go. And I've turned off too much. There we go. And fastest for Mikau with 127.087. Very nice there. And I think Trin is going to be next across the line. And setting 127.397. So solid banker lap there from the Haas driver. Managed to keep his car pointing in the right direction this session. So
yeah, they just need to be in the top 10 so they can make it through to the top.
Absolutely.
Last quali.
Yeah, I think we've got Team Max invalidated again. Not a great session so far from the Alpine driver. But all part of L Plan, I'm sure. Combined YouTuber had to come across the line. It's a 28.0, and we've got the McLaren of Hero. I'm pretty sure invalidated his first run, so he'll be going again. And I think that's Eckham actually in the Aston Martin, so that'll be the next one across the line. Like a tidy lap so far, and goes P5 with 127.575. Now on board with his teammates, just coming around at the final corner now.
Got a harness with purple first sector as well.
Yeah, 27.1 for Simdogger. And I think that's Captain of Gold next across the line with a 127.592. So another solid time there. Now, I think that's it for now. We do have, I think, Hero is going to be on a lap. He's invalidated again, Hero. I think he's only done one valid lap in qualifying so far, and it was his time to get into Q2. So
hopefully he can
showing a little bit of
pull
nerves
another one
here.
out of the hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, he's only got 7 minutes. That includes finishing off coming into the pits for this lap. Just showing a few nerves, Hero. Trying to do too much in his banker lap. And here we go. Atanas is going to cross the line now. He's out of the final corner, looking pretty good. There goes P3 with 127.162. Very good time there. And I think we've got Fever on a lap. And 2 Aston Martins are on in laps, I believe. So stick with Fever here. Looking pretty good.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely 100% commitment from Fever.
This might be his last run, I believe.
Goes purple in the second sector. Oh, just look at that. Absolutely throws it into every single corner.
Did he even lift?
I don't think so. I think it was dead flat the whole way. Coming into the final corner. Looks pretty planted.
No room left there.
Across the line, there you go, 26.564. Great time there by Fever. Absolutely on rails, Seb, 100% correct. Now, who have we got on a lap still? I think Big Al. Last one on a lap. Well, we do have Potsy on a lap as well, so we jump on board with him after Big Al.
Potsy's invalidated.
Well, he's still down in 14th, Potsy, so he'll want to get a time on the board. Only 5 minutes left in the session, so everyone will be coming out again for one final run. Here we go. Big Al coming across the line. Does that 126.976. Great time. I think he's only the second driver to get into the 26s so far. And yeah, as you pointed out, Potsy has invalidated. We do have Trin and T-Mac on our laps.
I think we might see him do another lap. Nope, straight in the pits.
Yeah, I think those softs might be done. He might have underfueled the car as well. Just to get that little bit of extra pace. So we've got 4.5 minutes left. Currently the cutoff time is a 127.592. Only 2 drivers in the bottom 5 have set times. That's Andocat and Combined YouTuber, both of them within half a second of that cutoff time. So T-Mac, Potsy and Hero with everything to do right at the death. And here we go. T-Mac opens up the throttle and commences what will probably be his last lap of the session.
Ooh, that's very close.
Barely kept it in track limits there. I was just going to say,
it's definitely a really hard section too, because you got when you're full throttle around some parts, then you got to lift back on, then back off, then back on again, depending on your setup, of course. But
yeah, T-Mac there as well, using a bit of engine braking. So you saw he shifted down, so he'd hit the rev limiter, which would just slow the car down slightly without having to lift off. Gave him that extra bite to the corners, and sector 1 was not too bad. He's not quite got the pace of Fever, but he might be able to sneak into the top 10, get one more shot at quali.
At the end of the day, the race is where it counts.
Absolutely, but of course, if you you want to qualify first, because that means the other 19 drivers start behind you. So,
correct.
There's wise words from Drive to Survive. Sector 2 was actually purple, so great lap there from T-Mac so far. Flicks into the final corner. Doesn't hug the wall though, so he's lost a little bit of time there, but does go 5th at the 127.139, so a solid time there. A jump aboard with Hero now, who's so far set a valid lap on his first sector.
I believe this will be his last set of softs too.
Yeah, he's just got 2.5 minutes as well, so he's not going to have enough time to finish this and get back around with another one. Goes purple in the second sector as well. Fever retires from the session. He thinks he's well and truly safe, and at the moment, yeah, he's the second clear of the cutoff zone, so no pressure there from behind. As Hero flicks it into this final corner.
I think we're going to see...
oh, he nearly lost the rear there. Nearly did a Max Verstappen.
1-2, maybe.
Used up all of his deploy, probably a good 200 meters before the timing line. 126.9, so solid time. Yeah, who have we got on a flyer? Got a Captain of Gold on a lap. Big Al also retiring, thinks he's safe.
Got Andocat, but he's invalidated.
So 27.2 is our cutoff time at the moment.
We've got Potsy that hasn't set a time yet. Setting a...
Looks like he might get a little tow from Anacat as well. He's on a lap.
Yep.
Tidy lap here from Captain of Gold. Just comes around the final corner now. He comes across the line, P9, 127.262, so he's safe, but only by 7 thousandths of a second. Jump on board with whoever gets. I think Simdogger, no, he's invalidated. He's next across the line.
In 15th, that hasn't set a time yet, just about to come over the line.
Here we go. Potsy coming around the final corner. Finally going to get a time on the board, opens up the DRS. Comes across the line, goes P5 with 127.034. And we've got the Haas of Trin is about to come across the line, and it looks like he has aborted that lap. And we've got Simdogger who's aborted as well. Hero, I think, is done. Oh, I've got a combined YouTube as the next one to cross the line. Oh, a good observation by Ali. T-Mac has out-qualified Big Al. And here we go. Combined comes across the line. Improves by 2.5 tenths, but not enough to be safe. And jump on board with Tanis now. Comes across the line. Goes P3 with 126.935. Great time there. Well, here we go. This is Baitmate's about to go now, as I think we just saw Mikau brush the wall there before I switched over. And Baitmate rounds the final corner. Flicks open the DRS, and he'll come across the line. Goes 10 to the 127.263. He's at an identical time to Captain of Gold.
You would hate to be Captain Gold, wouldn't you?
You would, because he set the time first. He should have that position as Ekim improves slightly, but not enough to gain a position. But then the next one across the line is going to be Mikau, but I don't think he needs to. I think he's safe. And he does peel off into the pits. We've got Crush now, is about to cross the line.
Hopefully he can improve.
And he does. He goes P10 with the 127.159, pushing both Baitmate and Captain of Gold out of qualifying. Now we've got Andocat who has invalidated as well, so he is done, and that is qualifying too. Well,
it looks
Crash
like there's
just
no
snuck
fighting
in.
there's going to be no fighting in pit lane.
Absolutely, yeah. So, what's that? That's over a tenth. Crush is clear, but Bateman and Captain Gold setting identical times. Unfortunately, Captain Gold should be in front, but the game is not applying the rule correctly unless to an extra decimal place, Batemate is in front of Captain Gold. So,
on to Q3 now.
absolutely.
How they bring.
There we go. Let's just finish off who's eliminated. So Batemate, Captain of Gold, Ekim, Andocat, and combined YouTuber are out. So,
Hero used 2 tyres as well.
not much there at all. Yeah, so let's have a look at the tyres. Phoebe just using the one set to get through. Same with Mikau and Simdogger. There's a number of drivers there having to use 2 sets to get through. So that will affect their ability in this final qualifying session, which is about to get underway, which is maybe about 12 minutes now that we're just down to 10 drivers.
Looks like a nice clear qualifying.
I might turn off the tyre graphic. We know everyone's going to be on the softs. Here we go. All right, Spicel, what's your prediction? Who's going to be on pole?
I think we might see the 2 McLaren boys, 1 and 2. Maybe closely followed by either Potty or Mikau. And I think the rest we'll have to see and find out. What do you think?
I
Gus?
reckon Fever pole. I think he's been pretty quick in every single session so far, so I'd be surprised if anyone else is on pole. I reckon though. I reckon T-Mac and Big Al will be second and third. I think they've been pretty quick in each of the sessions. I reckon Al Plan is going to be well and truly in action here.
Well, hopefully they can keep it clean and set a good time.
Absolutely. So we've just got the two drivers on outlaps at the moment, Simdogger and Big Al. But here we go. We've got the Haas of Trin, the Ferrari of Crush coming out as well. A few others on the way. Psycho in the chat reckons Fever, Hero, Big Al, Mikau will be our top four. But by all means, chuck your predictions in the chat, everyone. We'll see who's going to be correct in just 10 minutes' time.
And the winner gets to watch the next race.
Absolutely. Here we go, Simdog about to start the lap. Here we go. Aston Martin commencing the first flying lap of Q3. Very, very committed here. Yeah, Aston Martin looks so planted through that first sector. Looking like a pretty good lap so far from Simdogger. He's going to get a little bit of traffic here in the final sector. See, runs a little bit wider than Fever. Fever gets so close to that concrete wall on the inside, you almost think he's going to tear a tyre off, but Simdogger a little bit more conservative. He's still looking pretty good. He might actually get a little toe here out of the final corner with Mikau.
Got Posse around in
his lap.
the one.
Oh, we do. We do have the Mercedes around in the first sector. So for Simdogger to finish his lap. And there he goes. 127.179 is the benchmark for now. Jump on board with Big Al. He's about to finish his first flying lap. Opens the DRS and across the line. And he sets a 126.946. Great time there from Big Al. With the Ferrari Crush is going to be next across the line. Look how close he is to the walls. Absolute commitment here from the Ferrari driver. Hugging the left wall as much as he can. Just trying to shorten the distance of the track to save some time. Hits the brake just before the 50-meter board and flicks it round for this final corner. Opens up the throttle. DRS as well. Comes across the line. 127.263. Not quite enough. But Tanis comes across the line with 127.117. And I think we've got... Oh, that's Hero about to start a lap. And jump on board with Trin, who's invalidated. So he's going to be starting another one as well. Potsi, of course, having that spin in the first sector will not be setting a representable time at the moment. Let's jump on board with T-Mac, who's also invalidated, unfortunately. So let's jump back to Fever, who's on the back straight DRS zone. And comes up to the final corner. Looks around. He's got Mikau just behind him. Probably getting a little bit of a toe here. Now for Carry Driver, close enough that he should improve by a few hundredths at least. Fever across the line with a 126.482. Great time there. And Mikau across the line with a 127.323. Not quite enough. Now, let's see who's there. I think that's T-Mac. No. The other one. Who's on a lap out of these guys? I think Hero's going to be the next one to set a time. Goes purple in the second sector. There's Hero. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're going to get a McLaren 1-2, which is Pretty much the opposite of what we're getting in real life. On this back straight. Looking pretty good. It comes to the final corner. Opens up the throttle. And the DRS. Comes across the line. P2 is 126.752.
Print following closely behind as well.
Absolutely. He goes fourth with 126.997. Now, I think we've
seeing 26s.
T-Max invalidated again. Oh, and he's hit the final wall as well for good measure as he turned in.
Wonder if he's got a set of another set of softs.
Possibly.
Does he have enough time? That's the other question too.
Alright, I think everyone else is done. Emicao coming into the pits. It's going to be Heroes. Down there in Sector 1. FIBA also coming into the pits. Right. So let's have a look at that. FIBA, Hero, Big Al is your top three at the moment. Trina, Tanis, Simdogger, Crush, Mikal, and Potsy. Potsy and T-Mac, neither of them setting representative times. T-Mac hasn't even done a valid lap yet, so unfortunately he's leaving it to one-shot quali at the death. There we go, all the drivers returning to the pits. We've got 5 minutes left in the session. I'll be putting on their final set of tyres. I imagine most of them will be using brand spanking new tyres for this final run. Trying to get their optimal starting position for the start of the race. Seb in the chat, T-Mac would have done a 23 if he was better. It's brutal, but also true.
Gotta love all those comments.
Absolutely. Trin with a very hasty entrance into pit lane. The former head steward. I'm not sure racetrack to be too happy with that pit entry speed, but...
With all the driving we've been seeing in Q1, 2 and 3, I think we're going to have quite a few safety cars in this race.
Yes, quite possibly. You know, T-Mac is heading out on his down lap. He's a little bit early, 4 minutes ago. I reckon he's probably got a bit of extra fuel in the car. He has invalidated a number of times. I wouldn't be surprised if he does to bank a lap and then just conserves a bit of energy for a cool down lap and then goes again right at the death. Also got a Tanis from Williams is on his outlap as well. Currently sitting P5 with a 127.117. Psycho's reviewing that pit entry. T-Mac, in true T-Mac fashion, has invalidated his outlap. Thank you for the follows, Native Aussie and Magic Cara. I think we had one a little bit earlier as well. Thank you, Cody is best for the follows. Thank you for tuning in. Here we go, final laps about to get underway in this Q3 session for Tier 1 Aussie Formula Racing Season 8 Round 3 here in Saudi Arabia. As we jump on board with the Alpina T-Mac, there's 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Pretty tidy first couple of corners from T-Mac. Oh, it just takes so much curb. That left-hander. That's a much better Sector 1. That looks really clean.
That last ripple strip on the right-hand side, even if you just touch the wheel on the white line, sometimes it invalidates you.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. That'll be very precise at this track in particular. Love the commitment here from T-Mac. He's looking really, really good through this second sector. I don't think he's gone for a banker. I think this is just him doing absolutely everything he can. Flicks it in. And viewing platform, and this is looking pretty good. He's only essentially got one more corner to deal with. And here we go, moves across the right hand side, brakes just after, or just before, sorry, the 50-meter board, flicks around the final corner, hits the wall, so that's going to take a little bit of time out of this lap. And he'll come across the line. It was P5 for the 127.072. I reckon if he hadn't touched the wall, he would have made it into 26s. Jumping on board, I think that's Tannis is going to be the next one across the line. He's got McLaren behind him as well. And here we go, Tannis across the line. Doesn't improve, so it looks like he's going again. And I think who else have we got here? Simdog was invalidated. Big Al goes purple in Sector 2. He's up by 2/10. Oh, it's going to be enough for P2. He's got to find a little bit more here in the final sector. And here we go. Opens the DRS. Hero's retired. He can't improve. Big Al goes P2 with 126.564. He nearly put it on pole there. It's just a 10th off Phoebe's time. And who we've got here? That's T-Mac. Looks like he's going again. I can't quite tell if this is a flying lap. He's going to get the checkered flag this time across anyway. Simdog retiring with 127.179. And across the line goes T-Mac. Goes fourth. He's found another 10th. He's 126.955. The jump on board with that Tannis is about to improve by a 1.5 tenths. That'll be enough to get into the 26s. And here we go. Williams about to cross the line. No, he ducks into the pits. He lost all that time in the final sector, and he is done. Trin now coming through the final corner. Didn't get a split time show up there. I'm not quite sure if he's improving here. Opens up the DRS. Oh, he's going to come across the checkered flag. Goes fourth with 126.919. He improved by 0.07 of a second and jumps T-Mac. As we've got Phoebe setting a pole time of 126.223. We're going to have Mikau come across the line next. Improves by 6.5 tenths, but doesn't gain any places. As Potsy comes across the line, looks like he might have invalidated. So it's 145.016, and that is qualifying done. So congratulations to Phoebe, setting pole with a 126.223. Unfortunately, it looked like Hero might have invalidated his final run there. Not quite able to get that McLaren at 1-2. Here we go. Big Al setting second fastest time there with a 126.564, followed by Hero third. We've then got Trin in the Haas. In P4, he's just 36 thousandths of a second faster than T-Mac there in P5. And a little bit further back by just over a tenth is Tannis there for P6. Another 10th back Simdogger, and we've got Crush, Mikau, and Potsy rounding out our top 10. Just 1.1 seconds covered the top 9. And unfortunately, Potsy not able to set a representative time in that final qualifying session, unfortunately.
I think he used all his tyres just to get into that last session.
Yeah, I suspect that might be the case. We have also seen that he's not a great qualifier. He spent all of last season, despite winning the championship, he still did not get a single pole position. Here we go. Drivers loading into the race lobby now, so a few moments while everyone gets their strategies organised for the race. According to Panda, he invalidated his lap very slightly, so it looks like he might have just exceeded track limits on that final run. So
teams have already got the front wings ready.
Absolutely, they might have a few more around the back as well, just in case. Right, here we go. 10 seconds left for the drivers to confirm their strategies, and we'll be on our formation lap.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tough one for all the teams, trying to juggle everything. Both strategy, tyres, and fuel especially, because the fuel burn around here is a little bit different compared to most street circuits.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the tyres. Everyone's starting on the softs. Absolutely everyone. No one outside the top 10 is even looking at starting on a different compound. Which
It looks like you're going to see a lot of pitting around lap 9, lap 10. Some may be pitting lap 7 to try and do an undercut.
yeah, it's a pretty comfortable one stop here, soft onto medium, and as you said, kind of lap 7 to lap 10 is when we'd expect everyone to come into the pits, although if there is an early safety car, we could see what happened in Tier 3 with everyone switching to a 2-stop, just going from soft to medium to soft again at the end of the race. So Panda's saying the delta between the soft and the medium is 1.1 seconds, so it is quite dramatic, especially for that, especially for that opening lap. You don't want to be on that slower tyre.
You could also depending on how many laps, 10 times, that's 16 seconds. Can't remember how long it is for a pit stop here, but it's almost worth doing another stop just to get onto those softs.
Absolutely, and we've seen that as well. Like, if you're at the back of the field, you've got absolutely nothing to lose to just mix up the strategy a little bit. And Big Al looks like he just holding up the field a little bit. You see, there's quite a sizable gap between himself and FIBA. You are meant to keep just a couple of car lengths between you and the car in front. I don't know what's happened, whether he's gone AI or something, but he might get into a little bit of trouble here. It's up to the race leader to determine what the pace is for the formation lap. You see Hero almost going past him. He's weaving, so he is in control of the car, but he needs to be careful here. He can be penalised by the stewards for not obeying the formation lap procedure. You need to stay close to the leader. And I'm going to just say, Psycho, if you're in the Twitch chat, you might want to have a look at that one, because it is definitely against the AFR regulations to be that far behind the leader.
A little bit unfair for the leader where he's sitting there, his tires getting cold.
What you get for starting on pole is you get to dictate the formation lap pace, so you can't hold up the rest of the field because, yeah, Psycho's all over it apparently. So we might hear from this a little bit later. Ekim and Andercat having a little bit of contact out of the final corner. They get teleported onto the grid. They do not get disqualified from the race, but they will have slightly colder tyres than everyone else.
Must feel like an eternity for FIBA.
Absolutely. The last car is just forming up on the grid now, so we're going to hide our little overlay as we just wait for the lights to appear. Here we go. 3 red lights, 4, 5. They're out, and we're away. If I could get a better camera angle, thank you very much, Codemasters. And it looks like Big Al darting to the inside. He's had a very, very good start, and they're alongside as they go through turn 2 as well. A little bit of contact between the two. Big Al gets escorted out onto the curb, and it looks like he actually touched the wall as well. Now Hero looks like he's trying to go around the outside of the Alpine, but he can't quite get it done. And they go through turn 3 and 4.
We've already got a spin down the back.
Yeah, we see green flags just at the back. Gonna have a little bit of a look further down. I think that's one of the Mercedes. It's actually the 2 Mercedes of Potsy and Andercat might have had a little bit of a coming together there, and sure enough, they are right at the back of the pack. We've got a Baitmate as well. Oh, there's a few cars all over the track there, as Trin has actually made it up in front of Hero as well at the hairpin.
Got Baitmate with no front wing at all.
Yeah, we saw him run a little bit wide there at those fast left
hand. They've got assistance there. Rest of the grid seems to be okay. All the wings seem to be on tact.
Phoebus did really well to hold on to the lead there with slightly colder tyres than the rest of the grid. Trin swallowing up Hero there. A great little move. Ekim up 4 places. Well, Geordie up 8 places. Look at him down there in 11th. Red Bull driver almost in the points after starting dead last. Apparently,
very good news, my Geordie.
Apparently Simdog got turned in on Potsy. That might be what happened there with the Mercedes drivers. Jump a little bit further back. Looks like we've got an Alfa Romeo peeling off into the pits of Williams as well. Probably Pepsi gaining a couple of places there. Great little start from him.
Emac and Artanis side by side.
Now we've got 5 drivers in the pit, so a lot of damage picked up on that opening lap.
Just goes to show how easy it is to pick up damage here, or if you just don't leave enough room, that's the end of it.
Absolutely. Now, just curious, we do have Ponton and a Baitmate jumping onto the medium tyres, but Macadabri and Potsy And Captain of Gold opting to jump onto the softs, so they're committing to a 2-stop there. Pondon and Batemate may be able to try and stretch their mediums, but I doubt very much they'll go the race distance from here. And that kind of a lot of pressure here from Artanis. Artanis and the Williams are just pushing the Alpine around the corners. Has to back out and let him go through. Fast chicane. So a little gap opening up here between Hero and Trent. I wonder if Hero's actually picked up a little bit of wing damage, because I would expect him to be a lot closer to the top 3. And there's a bit of a train forming behind him now. And I think he might be a little bit vulnerable to T-Mac here. Especially now that DRS is enabled. The Williams having a little bit of a think about a move on the Alpine, but
Phoebe's done a very good job of trying to break DRS.
absolutely. It's just a 10th. There he goes. He's actually in front by a second now before the detection zone, so he may be clear now. I think the McLaren definitely has wing damage here. He's so slow in the corners. Oh, and there's actually contact between T-Mac and Hero, and I think T-Mac might have some wing damage out of that. You can just see how much he was being checked up, and he's actually lost position to Artanis there, who goes around the outside and into the hairpin. He goes down the inside. There's another little bit of contact between Artanis and T-Mac definitely has wing damage. He's lost his left end plate, and he is now dropping through the field. Oh, so unfortunate. I think Hero's definitely starting to hold up this field, and he's just got caught out a little bit by how much slower he was. And we've got confirmation as well from Farmer Sam that Hero does have wing damage. And T-Mac absolutely dropping down the order. And he'll have to come into the pits at the end of this lap.
It's a big gap forming between Trin and Hero, that's for sure. So it's going to be hard for the guys getting past Hero to then try and catch up.
Absolutely, but we see there Artanis get the move done on Hero into the final corner. As T-Mac has dropped outside of the points now. Geordie up 9 places now since the start. See Trin pulling a 2-second gap now on the rest of the leaders. Hero actually coming back at Artanis is not what Artanis will want at all. He knows that the McLaren has wing damage and he needs to stay in front, but Hero's just battling away, and that's going to allow the top 3 to just absolutely bolt from the rest of the field. They go side by side through this first sector. There's hardly any room to be able to do this. And Hero stays in front. So further down the order, Captain of Gold and T-Mac changing places. As Hero defends the inside at the hairpin. You're going to be able to stay in front of Artanis? I don't think so. He's gone around the outside. He's got a lot more speed. No. Hero using a fair bit of his deploy, I think, just to stay in front. And this train is dropping so far off that. It's 3.5 seconds now between Hero and Trin.
Yeah, Artanis needs to get past Hero and just try and make a run for it.
He's having a look at the inside here. Is he going to make a move? He's got a little bit of overlap, but he decides better of it. Does not want to start a massive accident here because there is not a lot of space, and I dare say everyone behind will probably lose a wing as well as they come through.
How much gap?
Look at this. Crush has got the run. Crush has got the run. Oh, they're getting boxed up so much, and they're jostling for position. They're 3 wide into the final corner. It looks like Artanis has got the position finally, but look at his gaggle of cars behind. They're almost going 2 by 2. There we go. Hero's coming back at him. He got the move done before he got to the detection point, so Hero regains that position, and now Artanis and Simdogger. Oh, it looks like someone's around there.
Simdogger in the wall.
Let's see who that was.
That's Simdogger.
Simdogger's had a little bit of a spin. And now he's 4.5 seconds back from this train, and that's going to take a fair bit of doing to catch back up. Apollo Pepsi, our first driver to pick up a 3-second penalty.
Definitely not hard around this track.
Absolutely. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. We've had another couple of cars pit. We've got T-Mac there onto the medium tyres as well, trying to go as far into the race as he can without having to stop again. And Macadabri picking up another penalty as well. So at the moment, we've actually had a change to the lead while we were following Hero's battle. Big Al is now in front of FIBA. Have a little bit of a look at this. It's he was almost a second clear. Yeah, it did very well to catch up there.
Maybe FIBA had a mistake.
Possibly. It's a bit uncharacteristic. He was pretty well clear. He could have just got back into DRS range and regained a position as Artanis has got past Hero again. We're just going to stay on board with FIBA here as he looks to make a move around the outside of Big Al into turn 1, and he gets the job done. I'm going to jump a little bit further back now as well, and truly, yep, Artanis is having to defend again from Hero, and he's got Crush going on the inside. He's in a bit of a sandwich here. Hero back in front again. 4-second gap now between Trin and Hero. Now we see a little bit further back, that looked like Apollo Pepsi and Mikau going side by side.
Hero's doing well just to stay in front.
Absolutely, and now look at this train. Combined YouTube is a part of it now as well. Sindog 5 seconds back. He may actually be able to rejoin his train after spinning out of it just a little bit earlier. That's Captain Golden T-Mac having a little bit of a battle on the DRS straight in the pits.
By having Hero having wing damage, he seems to be doing quite well with staying up on the track limits.
Absolutely. He's probably using a little bit of ERS as well in the straights just to make sure that anytime they make up in the corners, they're able to just pull away that little bit extra.
The only downside is it's extra tyre where he probably doesn't need, so we might see him pit lap 7,
Absolutely.
lap 8.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think he'd be hoping for a safety car just to get that wing repaired without too much loss. It looks like, Artanis again wondering if he should make that move into the fast chicane. Side's better of it, and it looks like Ekem might be having a little bit of a move here around the outside of Crush. Gets the DRS. He's alongside slightly as Apollo Pepsi gets past. Oh, we've got a Crush as well. Goes down the inside of both Hero and Artanis. And it looks like Ekem as well.
Yeah, Artanis needs.
Oh, here we go. They are definitely 2x2 now. This is very close, tight racing here for the P4.
Hero's definitely just got straight line speed, doesn't he?
Absolutely. I think he's running a very, very slippery setup, and he has got the position back on Artanis. Simdog picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Oh, Hero going sideways out there on the curb, but Artanis is through, and now look at Ekem having a go at the back of the McLaren. Oh, he's very loose over the curb. You can just see how much that low downforce is now affecting him with the damaged front wing, and how much he's getting out of the throttle to get through these tight and twisty first sector corners.
I think we're going to see Hero pitting this lap.
Possibly, as we get into lap 7, so the softs are going to start getting worn a bit. And the pressure, the insane pressure coming from behind. I wonder, though, if he's just going to try and hang on and hope for a safety car just so he can get that wing change without losing that kind of 8 seconds. Get it replaced, but at this point, he's just costing more and more time. The gap between Trin and Artanis is 4 seconds, but it is dropping now that Artanis is in clear air. But Hero almost out of DRS range of Artanis, so he's costing everyone behind him.
They're about 16 seconds off the leaders, so...
Yeah, that's almost a pit stop. So this guy's very well clear. Another battle between FIBA and Big Al. So Big Al up into the lead. I think they keep trading places at the end of the DRS straights with no one else to tow along. I think FIBA's about to get the position back again on the run into turn 1.
Oh,
darts to the inside.
FIBA and Ekem have made contact last corner.
Hero and Ekem, you mean? And there is a virtual safety car, so Hero's got the safety car he needed, but he's got no front wing at all now, so he definitely has to come into pit. So I guess that's probably going to be looked at by the stewards, and we've got Mikau into the pits as well. I wonder if he actually has some wing damage as well. I thought he was going a bit slow, and he is getting that front wing replaced. So I noticed he was really struggling to fight off Apollo Pepsi, who you would have expected is a little bit faster than Mikau. And sure enough, Mikau gets that front wing replaced. And yeah, at least he's been able to do it reasonably cheaply under this virtual safety car. And, how have they fit out there? We've got T-Mac as the drop back behind Anacat there. A number of drivers in the pits, but here we go, green flag racing again. And jump on board with that little DRS train again. So now they've been released with Hero coming into the pits with that broken front wing. I'm just going to have a look at the changes. Geordie up 13 positions into P6. Apollo Pepsi up 11 positions. These guys have done amazingly, but of course, conversely, we've got Hero down 11 positions. Now 10 as he gets past Ekem again. Actually, this might be a little bit spicy given the two came together before that virtual safety car. It looks like Hero with that fixed front wing is able to deliver his absolute raw pace.
Very early in the race, so I'm sure we'll see a lot from Hero.
Absolutely. So the top 7 all still running soft tyres, but nearly everyone outside the top 8 on the medium tyre, except for Matt Cadabry on the softs. Start to see some of the leaders coming to the pits. Big Al going for an undercut on Fever. Trin as well, peeling off into the pits. So they'll be onto the mediums to the end from here. And here we go. A little battle here for what is effectively going to be... third and fourth as Geordie picks up a time penalty there. Just a bit too aggressive on the curves. A little bit of contact there between Geordie and Crush. They chase down Artana, so they're still well within DRS range. Geordie under a lot of pressure here. He's got a number of cars close behind him.
Still got 6 drivers to pit for their next set of tyres. It's going to be interesting to see if they all come in this lap or mix it up a bit.
Well, I'll be interested to see whether or not Fever decides to react to Big Al coming into the pit. So he's currently in a nice little pocket of clean air. He's 4.5 seconds behind combined YouTuber, so he's able to go flat out without any traffic. Bieber as well in pretty clean air. I'm just going to jump up to the McLaren, who has a big slide out of the final corner. And is he peeling off into the pits? He is. So he is reacting to Big Al coming into the pits. And Fever sped into the pits. He's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not good at all. Is he going to serve it now? No, he will serve it post-race unless there is another safety car. And away he goes. So he does lose a little bit of position because of Geordie and Combined staying out for another lap. But where is Big Al? Big Al is going past him. And have a look at this. Undercut. Is he going to get Fever? Fever does have a shorter run out of the pits. But Big Al is into the lead. And only by a couple of tenths though. So, oh, here we go. Fever has the run on him. They do go line of stern. For the rest of Sector 1. So this battle is not over yet.
We've got Hero setting the fastest time.
Absolutely. So his teammate well and truly on the charge. He has got a lot of traffic. Look at that train from P8 all the way down to P13 now behind Artanis. But he's closing in on the back of Mick House. So this train is going to be from P6 down to P13 soon. With a yellow flag as Potsy has retired from the session in the pits. You're not allowed to do that, unfortunately, Potsy. So he may be copping a little bit of a penalty there from the stewards. But hopefully your car does not come out onto the track and cause a safety car. Fever keeping relatively close behind Big Al here. Not quite ready to make a move yet, but oh, here we go. He's got the DRS open now as Jordan combine both pits, so Big Al will take the lead of the race, but Fever goes to the outside of the track, takes the racing line. Big Al not offering much of a defense there, and Fever retakes the lead of the race. So a pretty solid race so far from Trin as well. He's nearly 7 seconds behind the leaders, but he's 3.5 seconds clear of Simdogger, who's holding up a fair bit of traffic behind him now as those medium tyres still not quite warmed up yet. He's holding up a fair bit of a train. Down to 12th place now from 4th. Jump back to Apollo Pepsi. He's very, very close behind this Red Bull.
Looks like Simdogger seems to be in a pretty good position.
Absolutely. So he was one of the early pitters, and he's pretty well set up to go to the end of the race from here. Does have a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane as well, so that will hurt him a little bit at the back end of this race, unless he's able to pull a 5-second gap. But the level of competition that's behind him at the moment, I dare say that's going to be a bridge too far for the Aston Martin driver. But have a look at this. 4th place all the way down to 14th within the same DRS train of each other. You can see the massive colourful caterpillar worming its way through Sector 2 and 3. As Fever sits the fastest up of the race with 129.5. He has pulled out a little gap away from Big Al. So he'll hold this lead for another lap.
18 drivers left.
Yeah, Potsy retired. We didn't have a full grid to start with, unfortunately. Now Simdogger and Mikau going side by side through turn 1 and turn 2. Looks like Mikau's had enough of sitting behind this Aston Martin train. They're going side by side. Ooh, a big squeeze from Mikau. It's forcing Simdogger well and truly onto the curbs. He's trying to hang it in there around the outside, and a great job was from Simdogger as well. And he maintains that position. So great defense from the Aston Martin. Make sure he wasn't bullied out of that position.
Mikau's got DRS though. Trying to set it up for the back straight, I believe.
Absolutely, jumping back a little bit, and you can see Hero's made the move on Apollo Pepsi. Now he's trying to get the job done on Geordie as well. Trying to move his way up through the field. Man, some great driving here from Hero after that early wing damage. A little bit of contact as well with Eckham. Geordie's coming back at Hero now. He's got the inside line heading into this fast chicane. And the McLaren having to yield. Wants him to go through. Apollo Pepsi wants a piece of the action again. All over the back of the McLaren, gets the DRS enabled, and he's trying to go around the outside. Macadabri gets a 3-second penalty, and Apollo Pepsi does have the position now. Is he going to get it? He is. Hero has to slip in behind.
Looks like Mikau might have a good run down to turn 1.
Absolutely. Fever and Big Al
trying to fight up.
Fever and Big Al just having a little bit of a scrap into turn 1. And here we go. Look at all the cars on the pit straight. Tanner's making the move on Mikau down the inside. We've got Crush and Simdogger side by side as well through turns 1 and turn 2.
A lot of elbowing going on there.
Absolutely. Banging tyres together. The Ferrari does have the inside line here, so he may be able to squeeze out the Aston Martin, but he is far enough alongside. He needed to be left a bit more room there, and he comes back at him. There's a big whack there for the Ferrari. I don't think Simdogger will be too happy with that one. It might be reported after the race. Simdogger was well and truly alongside there. Just got squeezed out a little bit. I hope he hasn't picked up any wing damage from that. And looks like Geordie having a bit of a look on Simdogger. Big dive from the Red Bull. But he avoids contact. I think Simdogger's aware of the lunge by the Red Bull driver. Just give him a little bit of extra space. As they come up to this right hand, the Aston Martin does have the inside line here, and he does get the move done. A big cut there from Geordie. He's going to have to give that position back. He's completely cut the corner and maintained position. Meanwhile, Hero's been able to get the position on Simdogger as well. So I think Geordie might be in a little bit of trouble for that move after the race. I think he's backing off a little bit. I think he might be trying to give the spot back, but Hero's just made that a little bit difficult for the Red Bull. As Apollo Pepsi now having a go on Simdogger. I think Simdogger's got a little bit of wing damage here from that contact with the Ferrari, because he has lost about 4 positions so far on this lap, and he continues to fall back.
I reckon Simdogger might have a bit of wing damage.
I think he does. We saw a very, very hard battle between him and the Ferrari at Sector 1, and it was just that one where Simdogger had returned to the track after being forced wide by the Ferrari, and the Ferrari, I don't think expected him to be there, just turned to cross, and I think that might have just given him some lime green damage. He still has both end plates, but the fact that he's lost so many positions on this lap, as Apollo Pepsi has a shocking exit out of turn 2, and Simdogger does get the spot back, but Sim is just really struggling to stay with his train. I think I would not be surprised if he has some lime green damage.
Even just that little bit around this track, it affects you tremendously.
Absolutely. Well, we saw Hero really struggling to keep everyone behind. He did a really good job, but he had dropped off about 4 seconds from Trin before he was able to get that replaced. So it will cost you a lot of time. So we've got a fair DRS train formed at the moment from P4 all the way down to P13. Eckham 1.7 seconds behind that train.
I think he might be able to catch up. He showed a pretty good pace before.
Absolutely.
And he's got a fresh set of mediums. The most.
The driver's getting a bit liberal with the track limits. I'm just going to jump back up to our leaders as Fever is having to let Big Al go through. Not much he could do there. Very early overtake by the Alpine driver. And Big Al back into the lead. Fever, of course, has that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit, so he'll have to serve that at some point, whether it be in the next pit stop or after the race. Mikau getting the move done on Tannis pretty comfortably there.
10 laps to go.
Absolutely, getting through this race very quickly. Great show being put on by these drivers. So you see, I think Simdogger has peeled off into the pits and is getting his wing replaced. So I was correct, he did have some wing damage there. We've got Batemate as well battling Ponton for 14th place. Looks like he's moved up that spot. Solid job by Batemate there, trying to recover after some early incidents. He did actually qualify not too badly, but he's down 3 positions on the race so far. Simdog chucks on the soft tyres to the end, so keep an eye on him in case the field gets bunched up. He may be charging through the field again. Beaver's dropping quite a bit of time to Big Al at the moment. It's down 7/10 already. I wonder if he might have tapped the wall or something and have a bit of wing damage, because he is struggling to keep up with Big Al. He does have that 5-second penalty, so maybe he's just, you know, wondering what the point of continuing on as hard as he was with a 9.4-second lead over Trin, but I don't know. Just doesn't look like he has the pace that he did early in the race.
It might be fuel conserving, we don't know yet.
Possibly. There's no light indicator on the HUD though, which would suggest if he was borderline, but it's not the case. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on it, see how that gap goes. It's down to 3/10 again after DRS straight, so is still going. Hero back past Geordie again as Pondon and Batemate changing positions heading into the final corner. And Mikal still able to hold on to P4. Tanis just behind him, looking for a bit of a move into turn 1, but decided better of it, as Pondon looks like he's peeled off into the pit, so Batemate will definitely hold on to that position.
I think we might see Eckham and Batemate catch up to this DRS train.
Yeah, 4 seconds gap between Combined and Eckham. He's bringing it down a little bit. Batemate, though, has a bit harder job. 10-second gap there.
All those drivers in that DRS train are doing a very good job.
Got a number of penalties, though, in the middle. Geordie with 3, T-Mac with 3, Apollo Pepsi with 6. These drivers being so close together, put an immense amount of pressure and a little bit of dirty air as well when you're following. Will make obeying these track limits even more difficult. A little bit of a lull at the moment as everyone's settled into their medium runs, but I think we're about to see everything just kick up a gear as Hero having a look at Crush into turn 1. He had a pretty decent run out of the final corner as Tanis has got the position on Mikau again into turn 1. Looks like Hero's trying to open up the corner, getting ready for a move, but he does take too much curb and picks up a 3-second penalty, and that's going to hurt his chances of damage control here.
I think he may have tapped Crush a little bit, maybe get a little bit of front wing damage.
Yeah, possibly. He's got a little gap now, Geordie behind, but he has dropped off half a second to Crush. But just keep an eye on the gap as well between Trin and Artanis. Trin has been sitting pretty in P3 for a while, 11.5 seconds off the leaders. But the gap to Artanis is now just 2 seconds, so he is pushing on pretty hard. And Trin might just want to pick up the pace a little bit as that gap is closing.
Trin's got 1 lap older mediums, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Just going to jump up to the leaders again. Feber going for a move around the outside of Big Out now in the DRS straight on the back straight, heading into the final corner. And it's beautiful long offboard shot. Shows Feber getting the move done, but Big Out will probably come back to him heading into turn 1. 3/10 gap, and he will get the DRS here as well. Feber was very defensive. Almost thought he was going to peel off into the pits there, but stays on the racing line, and Big Al's not able to come back at him, so I wonder if Big Al, no, he's used up only half of his ERS. Oh, a big slide there from Fever going through turn 2. He's able to hold that position and back a little bit further. You can see his car's all over the pit straight heading into turn 1.
Rush giving Mika a bit of a love tap through turn 1.
There we go. Artanis within DRS of Trin now. Just half a second. Trin hasn't brushed the wall or something, has he? He's lost so much time so quickly. He's given up the spot to Artanis there. Moved well out of the way.
Wow, yeah, he must have... something must have happened. Oh, fuel. Look at his fuel.
His fuel line has come on. I wonder, yeah, maybe he's lifting and coasting, because some drivers do like to underfuel, and might have predicted there being a safety car. We've only had a virtual safety car so far. he's going to be under a little bit of pressure here. He's got Mikau behind. I don't know. I don't like that. Well, I just saw Trin letting Artanis through. I know that they're friends in the PDE Discord, but it's bad sportsmanship if you ask me. It's you let one driver through, and then he can pull a gap, yeah. And then you hold up the rest of the field. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it looks a bit sus.
It looks like he's coming back at Artanis. So, as Mikau goes to the inside, is he going to get a move on the Haas? He does. And Mikau up into P4. Trin stays in P5, but he's got Hero all over the back of him as well. Now, it looked like we had a little spinner there. And sorry, I was just going to say we had a yellow flag briefly. It looked like we had Macadabri, I think, had a little spin in Sector 1, but that's cleared. A few of the guys in the chat saying that apparently Trin is marginal on fuel, and so he was just trying to get back into the DRS train to save a little bit of fuel to make sure he can get to the end of the race. And it looks like I had a big moment there, I think, from Geordie. He's lost the position to T-Mac, and he's under a fair bit of pressure from Andercat and Combined YouTuber trying to get into the points. Got a yellow flag. Looks like an Aston Martin's gone around and Simdog up in Sector 2. Just looks like a little spin. Doesn't look like anything other than that.
Damage.
And Geordie still holding on to the final points position. Only Justo's got Ando and Combined behind. And jump up to the front of this train. We've got Artanis still holding on to that final podium position from Mikau as Anakat and Geordie side by side through turn 1 and 2. With a yellow flag, and Simdogger is out of the session. I don't know if he's... I think that's a safety car. It's a full safety car. He's crashed at that fast chicane. And we have a full safety car deployed. So this changes things up a little bit. What have we got? Everyone's on the medium tyres except for Ponton, who's come into the pits.
I think Pond's going to pit for maybe another set of softs, I
Captain
believe.
of Gold as well. Yeah, they're both onto the soft tyre.
He's already on 3-lap-old softs. I probably would have stayed out. Unless there is a fresh set. Oh, fresh set it is.
So what are our leaders going to do? Big Al currently on 10-lap-old mediums, Fever on 9-lap-old mediums. They have a very big gap to P3.
Big Al
pit, surely.
Yeah, 100%.
Pit onto the softs.
Well, you got all the other people that will catch up, and if they're on softs, you got no chance.
Well, let's have a look what's going on here. So this is a get out of jail free card here for Captain of Gold, Ponton and Matt Cadabri. They're able to get a pit stop and avoid being lapped. Now, let's just have a look at Big Al's doing here. Is he going to peel off into the pits? He's staying on the racing line, but comes across in front of Fever. They are both pitting for soft tyres. And let's have a look at these pit stops. Is Fever going to have to serve his 5-second penalty here? I don't know how the game handles this scenario. He is serving his 5-second penalty, so is he going to come out in front of Artanis? I think he will, because they'll all be pitting too. So this has worked out well for Fever. He's back in the fight for the race win here. The game shouldn't really let you do that under safety car conditions, but anyway. Apollo Pepsi's staying out, and so is the Red Bull of Geordie. Both of them on slightly younger medium tyres, but they are choosing track position, but it looks like Fever's just got out in front of Apollo Pepsi there.
Well, it looks like we're only going to have 3 laps of racing. There's not much overtaking opportunities around this track, so they may have had the right decision.
Well, I think, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Apollo Pepsi at least has a car between him and the rest of the field, but I think Artanis definitely going to be all over the back of Geordie, and I think he'll make short work of him, to be honest. While it is difficult to overtake,
it is 1.6 seconds quicker, though, isn't it?
Exactly. I think 1.1 seconds, so... Oh, and especially given their old mediums too, I think that's going to be nearly 2 seconds a lap quicker. I'd be surprised if he gets stuck behind him.
You could pretty much go around the outside of the big hairpin at the end of the circuit.
Absolutely. So everyone in the field onto fresh softs except for Apollo Pepsi and Geordie opting to stay out on those used medium tyres. So let's see how this goes. So we'll have a look at the positions gained throughout the race. So Apollo Pepsi and Geordie up 15 positions each, sitting in 3rd and 4th. So great effort from them to get onto that track position, and that may be why they didn't want to come into the pits. They just want to try and maximise that gain.
I reckon they're just trying to get in the points. That's all they're aiming for.
Absolutely. We've got Mick out 3 places, Trin down 3, Hero down 5, T-Mac down 5 as well. Anacat and Combined both up 3, just on the cusp of getting points, just outside that top 10. We've got Batemate and Captain of Gold both down 3 as well. Sundog are retiring there, 11 places down. Potsy down 9 as well. So probably be another lap or 2 of safety car. Probably wait for the stragglers to...
I believe next lap will be its last lap.
Potentially. We've got a Red Bull down at the... I think that's a Red Bull. Can't ever tell the Blues apart in the track map, but once that catches the back of the train, then it should get the signal. We've got a Red Bull, that's Geordie, coming to the pit, so he has just thrown away all that track position after we were just saying, well, maybe just going to try and get to the end, but he is now going to be second last after deciding not to pit under that safety car.
Unfortunately, this leaves Apollo Pepsi very open to everyone else behind him.
But it will be interesting to see what his position is at the end of the race and whether or not Geordie made the right call there, pitting. Yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt quite a bit, Pepsi, with no rear gunner.
But that Red Bull should just cut the train.
The other reason I can think of that Apollo Pepsi may not have pitted is he was behind Trin, so he would have had to double stack, so he would have lost out anyway.
Geordie's gone onto a set of mediums. He must have...
oh, that's not the right
Could be
call.
the game. Wouldn't be surprised. But that does not look good. I would say that's probably it for Geordie. Unless something happens further ahead of him.
Absolutely.
And I think we'll see no drivers with fuel issues.
No, it should this a couple of laps on a safety car should help. Just make sure any of those drivers who are marginal will have enough to get to the end. There we go. That Red Bull almost got up to the back of the train. It should call in the safety car.
I think we'll see it on the back straight here.
Yeah, just before the final corner. It should be enough time.
And now he's
there we go. Beautiful. So, Big Al holding up the train here.
Was there a medium pace? Sorry, a set pace that they were only allowed to go?
No. So it's up to the lead car to control the pace of the safety car restart. Get this so we can actually see the cars coming around this beautiful shot of the final corner. And there we go. He's gone just before the final corner, and he's caught a few out. A few still weaving their tyres. And look at the gas swarming between the cars who got caught out there. And we're away. The safety car restart will be a 3-lap dash to the end. So there will be 1 lap of DRS for the final lap. And we can see there just behind Apollo Pepsi has already nearly lost a position to Artanis. Side by side going through turns 1 and 2.
Oh, bit of elbow rubbing there.
Absolutely. And he's lost that position already. Now on those old medium tyres, he is going to be so vulnerable to all these soft runners.
Mikhail lining him up now.
Yeah, but he's got Hero all over the back of him as well, so he's got to be careful here that he makes it a nice clean move. He doesn't want to get held up too much. His teammate picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And there we go, Mikhail making the move on Apollo Pepsi. Trying to round the outside. He's got to do it quickly because there is a right-hand turn that Pepsi will have the inside for. And he does force Mick out quite wide. And look at the cutback from Hero there. He tried to get the move done as well. Couldn't quite pull it off. And now Apollo Pepsi's actually holding up his own teammate here, sitting in P7. As Big Al and Fever go side by side of the run into the fast chicane. And Fever has got the position done. Didn't even need DRS to do that. Well done to the McLaren driver into the lead of the race. And he has that 5 seconds penalty cleared. So he is in the effective lead of the race. Now Hero's dropped down a couple of positions. Apollo Pepsi is still in P5. And Trin has been able to go through. Hero's dropped down a little bit, and he's right in the gearbox of that Haas. But Crush now looking around the outside as well. Looks like these positions are going to stay the same onto the pit straight. You see a few changes a little bit further down. Ekem and Baitmate side by side out of the final corner. Here on Crush as well, side by side for P7. Crush has got the position as we see. Poly Pepsi defending for his team. Oh, the Red Bull, the Ferrari's just gone straight up the back of the Haas, and he's lost his front wing. Hero's gone off at turn 1 as well. It just looked like he completely missed his brake marker there, and he has lost his entire front wing, and Hero's got some wing damage as well.
Did you take out both the Red Bulls or just one?
Sorry, he took out one of the McLarens. I'm not sure who else he took out. Looks like Ekem has also gone around with the wing damage as well. He's got well out of the way.
That was quite a big hit.
Absolutely. I've got that replay saved, so when we've got a moment to have a look at, we will. The T-Mac goes up the inside of Apollo Pepsi. They're still side by side, but it looks like the Alpine should have the move done. Trin has been able to bolt as well. Apollo Pepsi doing a great job for his teammate here, holding up the rest of the field. The gap's now 2 seconds between Trin and T-Mac.
Goes to show anything can happen in front of you, so it's...
Absolutely. I'll have a quick look at that replay now while we've got the moment. Slight moment. Here we go. So you can see they're on the run on the pit straight, and Crush had a great run on Hero here. You can see he tries to go to the outside, and it looks like he just completely missed his braking point. And oh no, he got hit by Hero. Hero has I don't know what happened there, but Hero...
Oh, wow.
If we have a look at that again,
yeah.
Nothing's happening
Hero's
at the moment. Hero's just tapped the rear tyre of Crush, and that has speared him into the back of the Haas's. Luckily, no damage at all to either one of those drivers. Oh, he's actually hit the back of Trin, I think, and they've somehow managed to stay pointing in the right direction. But anyway, jumping a little bit further back in the field, looks like Baitman's got the move done on combined YouTuber. Ponton as well is trying to sneak through into the points. Hero and Ekem still going at it. Hero into the pits. Seb just wondering if maybe Hero failed the switchback. It's possible, and it's
looked like he got a little bit unsettled before the corner.
I think just from that,
back in, just lost it.
Yeah, from that offboard shot, it looked a little bit like it was a little bit of desync. It looked like a really bad hitbox detection there, but unfortunately, yeah, both of them ending up at the back of the field, and I'm sure to be looked at after the race. And we are on the final lap. And all of that, we do have Fever leading. Heading into the final DRS straight. It looks like he may have this in the bag. Just keeping an eye on this DRS straight at the moment. It is still going on. But a yellow flag, that's Hero struggling in the first sector. I think he was going for fastest lap. And Apollo Pepsi just hanging on to P7 as Ponton swaps places with combined YouTuber. Oh, we've got Williams around. That looked like it was Ponton. Oh, there's a big collision there with a Red Bull as well of Geordie. As Fever comes across the line to win the race from Big Al, Artanas, Mikau, Trin, and Cat Baitmate T-Mac. Oof. Also got Apollo Pepsi, capture gold, combined YouTuber. Comes across the line.
Quite a few of those drivers did well to get back up there, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Now Apollo Pepsi hang on for 2 points there. Geordie across the line in P12. So it looks like Pepsi made the right decision there to stay out on the medium tyres. Geordie, unfortunately, not able to make any ground up.
Well, he did get involved in that incident too, so if he probably didn't, he may have been okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think the timing board's cactus a little bit. I've got some drivers.
Yep, I believe so.
Showing up as finished. Oh, I think that's probably because Simdogger left on the final lap, and it's just completely screwed up the timings. That's fun. Hopefully I don't have to deal with that in the results. No, we'll just wait for everyone to go around again. And it's migrating host. Oh dear. Unfortunately bugged for us spectators, but I think the race is well and truly done.
Very good driving from Fever and Big Al. They stayed out in front and stayed out of the mess.
Absolutely. Okay, so unfortunately the lobby's a little bit bugged now for us. I won't be able to show you the final results. Oh, there we go. No, it has decided to progress through to the results. So, very exciting finale to the race. We could tell it was brewing a little bit in the middle. It looked like we were in a bit of a lull. And it all just came alive in the dying few laps. Apollo Pepsi getting driver of the day there. Picking up a couple of points there at the end. All credit goes to this man, Fever. Yeah, once again, another win in Tier 1. P2 goes to Big Al. Solid job from him. And I think P3 ended up being a Tannis holding on to that final podium position. We had a nice good scrap between all of those drivers. There we go. Fever also picking up fastest lap of the race with a 128.066. And then we've got Big Al, Tannis, Mikatrin, and a Cat, Baitmate, Combined YouTuber, T-Mac, and Apollo Pepsi rounding out the points. Then got Captain of Gold, Macadabri, Geordie, Pondon, Crush, Ekim, Hero, Simdogger, and Potsy not finishing the race. Oh, thank you very much for joining us for Tier 1. Mr. Spicer, thank you for joining me in the commentary box.
Thanks, you can now take a breather.
Absolutely, have a stiff drink after that one. But you, by all means, run off and get ready for your Tier 2 race, which will be on in about 15 minutes. So do stay tuned for that. We'll have that live for you.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Just loading into our Tier 2 session here of Aussie Formula Racing Season 8, Round 3 from Saudi Arabia. We've had Tier 3 and Tier 1 tonight so far. Now let's wrap it up with a bit of Tier 2 action. I'm joined in the commentary box here by Seb. How are you this evening?
Pretty good, Gus. Happy to be here. Happy to be technically alongside you or below you in this commentary booth. But we've got 17 drivers or actually, sorry, 18 drivers for 25 laps of this Jeddah Corniche circuit.
Just to clarify, we are in Discord and he's below me in Discord, not physically under the desk.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll move on from that little moment there. Thank you, Seb.
Thanks for taking it there, Gus.
You put it there.
I put it out there, and you just grabbed it with two hands and ran along with it.
I won't touch that one either. All right, so we've got a couple of cars coming out onto track at the moment. We've got Nemo, first one out.
All alone at the moment, but we'll be joined by an Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, two Williams, and a Red Bull. Well, the other cars coming out on track looks like Psycho, Fuzzle's teammate Zay. Zay getting his first podium, I believe last time out, if I'm not mistaken, in Bahrain.
Yeah, I think that was the case, so good start from him. I think we've got a couple other reserves in here as well. We've got CJM, we've got
Dodge in the Alpine,
who has left the session already. Hopefully he's able to rejoin.
Other than that, we're missing an Aston Martin, which is Zay's teammate. Actually, no, not Zay's teammate, Lick's teammate, sorry, Forehead. And I believe the other car we're missing is a Ferrari, which is Saxa. Keeper obviously missing as well. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday to the enigma that is Keeper. Right now, Nemo had to set us underway in this qualifying session. Just under 16 minutes left, and he'll be the first to cross this start-finish timing line.
Hey, Cass, on a hot lap, Seb.
Braking at the start of the curb. Get that down to second gear, probably third ideally. You want to take a lot of curb for 1 and 2 to go through 3, a little kink into 4. Braking past that black box on your right hand side as I've had a bit of lag. Someone's joined. But nevertheless, flow through 5, 6 and 7. He's dropped it and this is out of session goes Nemo.
Pushed a little bit too hard on that banker lap. Of course, there's enough time in these qualifying sessions to get 2 or 3 laps done. We'll just bring that up on the replay. And you can see there, Seb, you called it really nicely. Just as you got a bit of lag as Krishna Surya joined, just took a lot of curb on the inside. Looks pretty good for most of it. It was just this left-hander here, the double left-hander. He just touched the inside wall and that spat him across the other side and into that barrier and out of qualifying without a time on the board. So it's unfortunate for Nemo.
Nothing against him. You see a lot of the top guys able to balance that steering wheel through that difficult first sector, a very technical but flowing first sector. And that's a lot of time can be gained if you're able to balance that control, that rear end of the vehicle. Nick right now will be the first person to cross the line, but he has invalidated a lap, so I believe the next person to cross the line with a time lap will be Fuzzle. He'll be the first to set a lap time on the medium tyres. You see a couple of guys do this throughout each tier. Make sure they have a spare set of softs available for the race, and 29.1 isn't a bad way to get your qualifying underway. Smitty getting his session underway with a 28 flat and sneaky. Our championship leader, 20 points clear of Lick. 2 wins on his name, no fastest laps, that's 50 points. And he's 5/10 off of Smitty's soft time. And is just beaten by Combat Rat in that McLaren as he crosses the line. Next, CJM chucks it into P2, 28.3. So he's looking strong, stronger than Sneaky at the moment. But it's all very early on. Gus, it's first 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes. Yet to see the true pace of some of these drivers. Red Bull crossed the line. That's Wahid. He's into P3, 28 forward, 10th ahead of Combat Rat in that Red Bull.
Yeah, I think Saggy Kid's just about to start one. He's invalidated his first run. Do you want to take us through his second flying lap on those soft tyres?
Will do. As we said before, pass that black box on the right hand side, throw the car in, take a lot of curb inside and out. The track limits are to the inside white lines of this track. Sorry, not the inside, the outside. Most outer ones. You want to take a lot of these inside curves and the outside curves. You're going to get a little bit of a friendly tow here. Different teams, rival teams in real life.
I don't think Wahid knows he's on a lap. I think he's actually impeding the Ferrari here.
He might have been. That is a bit of dirty air. It looked like the Sagan Kid handled it pretty well. 50-meter board, throw the car in. He's missed the apex. And you want to hold it through this left-hander. Doesn't know so well. Gets so close to that right-hand side wall of turn 17 and 18. 19, 20, now 21. Just kind of flowing all the way down to the final sector of 22. Braking 50-meter boards and turning in at the same time. Once again, using all track at your disposal. DRS open. Keep it tight to the left. Through 25, 26, on the run down to 27, the famous, the infamous Hamilton Verstappen incident. Falling to let each other by. Don't see any of that yet. This is hot lapping time. The Saga Kid out of turn 27. Good enough exit. Got very low on the gears though, and you see a lot of these laps. Deployment goes out. Goes P3, 28 to 378. And Dalek gets his session underway with a 27.80, chucking it into P1 ahead of Williams. That is Smitty.
Well called, Seb. While you were calling that, we actually had Zay crash out just at the exit of turn 2. I'm not quite sure how he managed it because it's a pretty harmless bit of track in qualifying at least, and yeah, he's unfortunately managed to get himself out of qualifying. He did have a 29.2 on the board, as you see Sagi Kid being a bit naughty here, cutting a few corners on his way back to the pits. Want to be careful doing that. You're not really allowed to do that.
It's caught on stream as well. That might get looked at if someone dares puts it in the race incident report. I'm just looking at Lick right now, and he's dropped it out of turn 13.
Yeah, he lost it at Epic hairpin. Just jumped aboard with Mika. At the moment, he's on a flying lap in the Williams, just entering the DRS zone at the start of turn sector 2.
And he's got to be wary of Lick. This is the exact spot. Lick is out of the way, but not just yet. Right now,
he's lost it again. Oh! He's just gone off into the wall where Latifi went off, I'm pretty sure.
And he's retired as well. And that's hot tyres. The fact he hasn't computed that. He's just spun and he's still kind of going as if he was on a hot lap.
Yeah, we caught that on the stream. I'll just see if I can replay that one. Yeah, there he goes in that right-hander, and he's just lost the rear, and he's just gone straight into the wall. It's a very unfortunate DNF there from Lick, and unfortunately he'll be starting from the back alongside Nemo.
That's all rear tyre temps right there, Gus.
Definitely, that's it.
Mika right now. So a little bit of a scare in front of him, chucks it into P8. Third last of those who have started a time, as you were saying.
Yeah, just jumping up onto Skins now. He's the next one is going to be crossing the line to set a time. He invalidated his first run, so this is actually his second set of tyres he's using now. He's just coming into the third sector now.
Apparently a purple middle sector. It seems like he's on at the McLaren driver. Lots of moments of brilliance, but never really able to keep it that consistent and keep that kind of straight line. That's been his kryptonite. Decent traction at the final corner. He's keeping it tight to the left-hand side and nearly chucks it onto provisional pole.
17 thousandths of a second off pole, so great lap there from Skins. There seems to be doing a fair bit of practice. He's going to jump on board with Mr. Spicer, who's invalidated as well. Both AlphaTauris coming straight into the pits on their first flying run, so unfortunately they look like they're struggling a little bit out there. Jump on board with Frozel in the Alfa Romeo, who's starting his second run. He's currently sitting P10 with a 129.108.
Someone to look out for. Had the fastest lap in Bahrain, I believe. So keep an eye on Frozel. Yeah, so the way he's driving this first sector, it looks pretty clean, and It's like he's got it hooked up relatively nice. He's not attacking the curbs as much as you want for an ultra fast time. Still gone purple in the first sector. Watch out for Sneaky though behind. I think Sneaky's just gone and done him one better. He has, so have to keep an eye on both these guys as they finish off their laps one after another. On board with Fuzzle 50 meters, get that car tight inside. That's beautiful lines right there from the Alfa Romeo. Really calm on the throttle, on the brake, and with the steering inputs.
Not purple in the second sector. It's the second up on his time. That'll be good enough for a 28.1 if he can improve, but unfortunately just losing a little bit of time there through that somewhat complex second sector, but it's got a lot more straights than sector 1.
Gonna throw it into the last corner. It's hooked up pretty nicely for him. First lap time he did was on the mediums. That was a 29.1. He's looking set for a 27 if he crosses the line. He is 27.7, Gus.
Yeah, really good time. Sneaky goes up as well. It comes across the line. 27.1. He goes 6 tenths faster than Frozzle there. Great time there from the Red Bull driver.
Who will answer that? Eyes go to Dalek. Maybe even Kalios. Nick has had the session and he can't answer at all. But Kalios right now, about to finish his time. And he manages P6 just in front of his reserving teammate.
Well, here goes P5 with a 27.819. He's a thousandth of a second behind Skins. As CJM sits at 127.122. Knocks Sneaky off pole by 17 thousandths of a second. A great time there.
We are about to have a shootout.
It was one of McLaren's just blocked a track. Oh, Wahid. Did he, they hit there?
They did, I
with Wahid.
So,
alright,
brilliant reaction times from Wahid.
Here's the instant replay button that I meant to push, and you can see there Wahid just on his cooldown lap. You see there's the medium tyre in the middle of the road from an earlier retirement. And then yeah, you see the McLaren just right across the road. Wahid did well not to T-bone him, but that's probably hurt him a little bit. Yes, Ali, thanks for watching, as always. For those who didn't know, he's Big Al's brother. Always quick in the chats when things go wrong on stream, so thank you for that.
He will say something in the chat about me, I can 100% guarantee it down the line.
Jumping on board with Combat Rat in the McLaren. Currently going through Sector 2, just coming up to the end of that zone. Ooh, he's down by 21 seconds, so... unless he had
I think you forgot he spun, Gus.
Of course, that's a very, very good point. Jump aboard with Kalios, who's coming into the pits. Come on, gotta get a win. Gotta get a win here somewhere.
Might have Psycho.
Psycho. There we go. Psycho. There we go. Hasn't set a time yet either if the Alpha Tauris have set a time.
Rolling the car into the final corner. Oh, just being quite cautious, making sure he gets that time out. Looks like it'll be a 28, not the fastest time, but at least he has something on the board. It's good enough for P8. Now Mr. Spicer, his teammate, will be next across the line. He's going through 26 into 27. Making well enough, hitting the apex just about, but washing out a bit wide. You see a lot of understeer.
Yeah, and he had a bit of a wobble on the exit as well. Just P9, he's 300ths of a second, nearly 200ths of a second behind his teammate. So pretty evenly matched AlphaTauri drivers there.
And right now, I believe Dodge may be on an in lap, on his invalidator's lap, but Skins right now, second sector, he was up 2 and a bit tenths on his first sector time, heading down to the second sector timing line.
There's purple in the second sector, according to the track map. So again, looking like a pretty solid time here from the McLaren driver. 4 minutes left in the session. Should be enough time for everyone to go around again. So
you start seeing drivers come out of the pits now in case they can't do their first run too well. They've got a chance to do a second run if they do wish to do it. Skins right now. It's all about keeping this tight to the left and put to the floor. He jumps into P3.
Yeah, a couple of tenths off pole there. See, went purple in the final sector, so it looks like he might just have a bit of time to find in that first sector.
Potentially indeed. I just missed the spice from Psycho. Obviously, just completing their laps not too long ago. They need to come into the pits. They need to get out as soon as possible. But Smitty will be the first driver to get us underway in the final 4 minutes of this qualifying session for the final 4-minute shootout, Gus.
Absolutely, jumping on board with the Williams driver now. He's just caught up to the back of one of the Alpha Tauris on there in lap. Mr. Spicer there. And he'll come around his final corner to commence. It'll probably be his final run. I don't know if he'd, unless he invalidates, like I said, get in a second one. Just under 3 minutes left on the clock though, so plenty of time for a couple of laps. You see the Safina branding there, opening up with the DRS flap. Coming into that first couple of corners, taking a lot of curb, keeping it in 4th gear just to control that wheel spin.
Does very well with his line through turn 2. How's turn 4? Pretty good so far. 5 is keeping it pinned down all the way through 6, and 7 might have to do a bit of lift. Touches the brakes through turns 8.
Yeah,
9.
he's in 7th all the way through there, and he's invalidated. He didn't shift down at all, and he just understeered, washed out quite a bit through some of those high-speed corners. Saw some people dropping down to 6th, even 5th to just get it hooked up over those curves, and I think he just trying to carry a bit too much speed. As Frozzle is out, and jump on board with, I think that's Psycho. There you go, you can see the Alfa Romeo just pointing the wrong way, and Spicer's out as well. I think that's just a I've gone as fast as I can retirement.
Yeah, seems like a retirement in the pits. Mr. Spicer, so he doesn't think he can get out and do another lap. But Wahid right now up 6/10 in his time through the first sector. No, sorry, up 600ths. Not 6/10, 600ths, I should say.
Still, that's good enough to get P5. He's only a fraction of a second behind Dalek, who's currently in P5. He's getting some yellow flags here. Looks like his teammate's keeping well out of the way. And we've got another retirement. Mika is out. He's actually crashed out in Sector 1. So, you're the drivers getting caught unstuck here at the very tight and technical Saudi Arabia circuit, as Wahid goes purple in 2nd sector as well. Oh, he's so late shifting down the gears there for that fast chicane.
It seems like it'll be 2/10 down this straight. I don't think he carried enough speed and wasn't tight enough to that inside apex, Gus.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely washed out a little bit. We saw Feber in Tier 1 just almost clipping the concrete wall on the inside, and again through that final corner just not carrying enough speed and actually tapping the DHL signage there in the exit wall. As looks like Smitty's retired. I think that's actually a crash there just at the start of Sector 2. And Wahid comes across the line, improves up to P4 with a 127.523. And we've got one of the Mercedes about to come across the line, but that's the start of lap. We do have a Haas as well.
Sneaky starting the lap, then CJM following. We've got Dalek and Kalios as well.
Saggy was on a lap, but he's aborted it. Looks like he wasn't going to improve, so he's going to start another one soon.
Yeah, right now,
board with that.
Sorry, the Alpines.
Yeah, jumping on board with Dodge now. 4 seconds left on the clock. We will start to see the checkered flag soon. And I think Saggy's actually missed it, so he is out of qualifying now in P11.
Dodge will be the first across the line of our final, I believe, 8 drivers. Get their laps out on the soft tyres. He's up big right now, Gus.
Yeah,
Won't be enough though, it's 8/10.
Oh, it wasn't an optimal line through that final corner. He might have just scrubbed off a little bit of time, but he will improve. Comes across the line, improves by 7/10 up to P11 with a 128.301. His teammate improves by 2/10 but cannot gain a position. We're going to jump back a little bit further to Combat Wrap, and the McLaren's actually in his 2nd run on these tyres. He's improving by a few tenths. Will that be enough to get into the top 10? Hugs it nice and close to the pit wall. Comes across the line, improves by 3/10, and he's up to P9. We've got the Alpha Tauris as well, comes across the line, and I don't think they improved. We've got a couple of Red Bulls though. Sneaky.
It was... Oh, sorry, it was Psycho that crossed the line.
126.920 from Sneaky. He improves. We've got the Mercedes as well of Kalios. No, not Kalios, the other one. TJM comes across the line with 126.687. Great time there. And Dalek invalidated as well, so he's coming into the pit. So that is your grid for Tier 2. So we've got CJM on pole, Sneaky P2, Skins P3, followed by Wahid Brozzel, Dalek, Smitty, Psycho, Combat Rat, and Mr. Spicer rounding out the top 10. We've then got Kalios, Dodge, the Saggy Kid, Mika, Zay, and Vasa, with Nemo and Lick not setting times as they crashed out on their first flying laps.
So it's kind of cutting off there, just trying to get out that Psycho had invalidated his time along with Kalios. And Dalek did not really improve on his lap, so he called it quits as well from his invalidated lap time.
Absolutely, just 6,000ths of a second separating Psycho and Combat Rat there between P8 and P9. So very, very close in this midfield here for Tier 2.
Could be sneaky. Could be seeing Sneaky lose out some points here. TJM reserving, but really showing up the Red Bull full-time driver.
Yeah, we just got a comment in the chat as well that CJM was only 2/10 off the T1 pole time. So a very, very good lap there from the Mercedes reserve driver.
As you were saying before, look how tight that field is. P3 to 13, less than a second. Run for a show. You see Skins tucking into P3, doing better in quali than he did compared to last season. It's all over the place in quali, and that kind of set him back for the race. But he's putting a bit of practice and starting to show off here.
Alright, here we go. Loading into the race session now. Just waiting for the drivers to confirm their strategies. Looks like we're going to get a nice clear evening here in Jeddah. As you see, the countdown started for the commencement of the formation lap. Seb, what are your predictions for this evening?
Oh, that's an early ask, but CJM, Sneaky look good. I'm looking at Zay to come and storm through the field. However, early signs are that he may be having some issues with stability. Obviously, crashing out in quali is never a good thing, but he's also come in chat and said this race is going to be a challenge to say the least, so never a good sign.
Absolutely.
But he has the pace, Gus, and most certainly find his way up the field. Looking at the tyres, everyone but Dodge starting on the softs, so Dodge just going the alternate route. Safety cars play big here.
Yeah, I don't think we had no one in Tier 1 starting on the medium tyre at all. Everyone was on the softs. Tier 3, I'm not sure. I think everyone around me was on the softs as well. So, really with the delta that you get with the soft tyre compared to the medium, it's just really worthwhile. What was we got? CJM lagging a little bit for you?
Looks like it. Looks like he jumped back. I think that might have been a screen freeze.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think definitely the soft tyre is the preferred tyre around here. It's just so quick and it's reasonably durable as well. It can push a good 8 or 9 laps if you're kind to them. So with a safety car, we might see some interesting changes. We had in Tier 3, most drivers opting for a soft, medium, soft strategy with an early safety car and a late one as well.
And should be the way in this race as well. So likely you get a late safety car around here. And so likely you get an early one as well, with drivers trying to feel out the process, gain positions, for those tyres up to temp, and then adjust to them getting too hot, because these right fronts really heat up, especially the right, maybe even the right rear as well. With those high load corners through the first sector, turn 13, turn 17, certainly adds a lot of heat into the surface and the core, those right hand side tyres.
Drivers all coming onto the pit straight now, so we'll be taking their group positions shortly.
Well behaved in this formation
Absolutely,
lap as well.
no collisions. We had a few in Tier 1. And we had 3 as well in Tier 3 earlier this evening.
And just forming up right now, waiting on Aston Martin and the Haas of Lick and Nemo to round off the final row of this grid. The 9th row, 18 drivers, 25 laps under lights. As we wait for the formation lap to end. The red lights at night, come on. And the 5 red lights go out, and it is time for racing here in Jeddah. Looks like the 2 Red Bulls didn't get a great start. And look at that, Sneaky nearly dropping it into the wall. Bit of banging going on in that midfield, but looks like it's also clean so far. CJM leads nearly a second to Skins down the field. There's a yellow
there's been
flag.
a massive collision, massive collision. Oh, there are broken wings everywhere. We've got a massive traffic jam. It looked like about half the grid got caught up in that. There's a McLaren and an Alpine still trying to do a 20-point turn to get pointed the right way. We've got a safety car deployed, and there are still cars stationed around the track. I think about 10 cars are going to be getting some front wings replaced. I'll just bring that replay up for you, Seb. That was absolutely nuts. We saw that was the Alpine got tagged by the Mercedes and then got T-boned, and then everyone behind just completely piled into the McLaren, got turned around by the Alfa Romeo, and we had... Oh, look at that. Oh, it was just an absolute mess. It looked just like the running of the actual Saudi Arabia GP last year in real life with... of course, if you remember, there was the red flag on that opening lap, and it was
Leclerc, I believe.
Nuts.
President Leclerc in real life, kind of just seen it there. I believe it was Psycho that dropped it. You see him all the way down the field, having to get out the way of all the cars. Dodge looks like he's been caught up in that as well. If you just look at the position changes, Combat Rat of Kalios down to Leak Vassar, gaining lots of positions. Mika, Zay, Nemo. Zay and Nemo, unfortunately, get penalties there. Fume, that's just from little taps here and there, especially under the safety car. When the safety car came out, they were still sorting out what they were doing. I expect to see some cars in the pits. As you said, damage from that first sector incident.
Let's keep an eye on how many drivers actually come into the pits here. I am counting on there being 7 or 8. Okay. P8, P9, P10, P11, P12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And 17, 18 are going to pit as well. More than half the grid got damaged in that incident at turn 2.
Wow.
There are 7 drivers not pitting out of 18.
It's more than half the grid that are in the pits.
It is more than half the grid in the pits. And you can see the number of double stacks as well happening. This is absolutely insane.
What's interesting, Gus, as well, this track is so long and the safety car goes so slow around here that we should be able to get green flag racing from lap 4 onwards. Where these cars are, we might even see it from the start of lap 3. I highly doubt it, but lap 4 should be put it in the books.
Mr. Spicer's out.
He's dropped it out of turn 4 and through 5.
Yeah, he was just watching his teammate. You can see the skid marks coming off the curb there, so he's definitely had a big moment. And the AlphaTauri is out of this race.
It's interesting. We were talking about the tyres before. 5 drivers, or what was 6, Mr. Spicer was included, but 5 drivers on the meds, Smitty, Nemo, Combat Rat, Mika and Vassar. You can take these to the end, but you may need another safety car just to make sure they last. They'll drop pace a lot, but it can be done. I've got to hope that safety car is somewhere in the next 13 or so laps, and not in the last 10, otherwise other drivers may switch on to another set of softs and have that grip advantage over those worn mediums. A lot of incidents so far, and 1 under safety car. It's a big surprise, but cold tyres can catch you out here, and the mediums, when they're not fired up, if you have the setup pushed one way too far, in this case I think Mr. Spicer has too much oversteer on his, he's just dropped it and sent it into that left-hand side wall.
We saw as well, I think you called it really well off the line. It looked like Sneaky had an absolute shocking start. I don't know if his tyres temps were incredibly low, but he just had so much wheel spin. He darted across to the pit wall and then back across. I thought he was going to wipe out his teammate in a straight line, but he managed to get control of it again. But as you say, it's so much more difficult when your tyres are not in that right window. I'm just really going to struggle around here because it's pretty grip limited to start with.
He's so lucky he didn't hit that left-hand side wall as well, just trying to hold on to it. Interesting. I believe was it Psycho? I believe it was.
Apologies for that, pressed the wrong button again. Not having a good tier 2 stream tonight. But just while we're under this safety car, I'm just going to bring up instant replay again to the incident that's caused this safety car because we've got one sec. One of the Alpines is, Williams has just gone straight off. Dodge spun off at the hairpin, the start of sector 2 there. Was that Mika? There he is. Went backwards into the wall there. And again, those cold medium tyres just really, tricky.
I mentioned before, the safety car is so slow around here. It's a decent job to keep those soft tyres up to temperature. You need to keep those medium tyres up to temperature the whole way through the whole safety car period, and you're just adding a bit of wear to it. Also have a feeling Mika might not have been doing that. And those tyres have dropped below that 80-degree core temperature level. You got to see him drop all the way to the back. And those drivers that have passed him have the right to overtake him if he's off track or is stationary. And as I said before, safety car in this lap. Green flag racing from lap 4 onwards.
A very late call for the safety car to come in, so I'm not going to see them go live before the final corner.
Doesn't give CJM a lot of space to work with to decide when he wants to go. Looks like he's building up the speed. He's gone now. Hasn't really caught Skins off guard, Gus.
Absolutely.
You see Skins right there.
He was still weaving, going 140 k's an hour and increasing, so I think he's made a little bit of a mistake here, but he's kept the lead.
See behind, there's an Alfa Romeo diving down the inside of Mercedes. Zay trying to get position as there's a bit of squabbling. Combat Rack gets a bit out of shape. That allows Kalios to for P10 and Zay as well diving down the inside.
Oh, a number of drivers cutting the corner there as well. Oh,
there's a crash.
Oh, big crash. Big crash. Absolutely huge. Oh, and there we go. We've got both of the Williams ended up in the wall.
Smitty's out.
Smitty's out. We've got front wings all over the place. Surely that's another safety car. That's completely blocked the track.
Car's not to be cleared. Smitty's car is out. Sorry. Yeah, it is Smitty's car out of the way. So, I guess the game's just going to assume that it's green flag racing because that car is not on the track. It's not in the spot. They normally assume you'd see a car DNF, but we have, and it's because he dropped it himself. Through turn 5 into turn 6, and it's just caused a whole pile up. P13 below affected. You see Dodge 3.6 off of Psycho in P12. But CJM underway, leading us, followed by Skins and Wahid. Sneaky, Frozzle, Dalek as Lick gets by Vassar for P10. Psycho in the mix as well. And a beautiful helicopter view of the circuit. And there's 3 car battles. Wahid retired. He's dropped it out of the last corner, Gus. We could have a safety car here, and we do.
Yep, there he is in the middle of the track, so that's definitely going to be worthy of a safety car. And yep, there we go. Another safety car. I was going to say, while we were watching that overtake, there was a little bit of a jostle for positions at that final corner, so I wonder if he was helped into the wall there. It's actually a very similar incident to Jack Doohan in the Formula 2 yesterday. Crashed out in a very similar location. Well, unfortunately, we didn't catch any of that. We'll no doubt hear about it after the race. And something we did miss about that first lap incident, Nemo has picked up a drive-through for a severe collision and Lick has a 5-second penalty. So both of those will have to be served at some point during this race. And we do have another safety car, which we've got a number of drivers in the pit. So Dodge, Mika, Zay and Combat Rat all in, getting some wings replaced. The driver's having to go off track to overtake the safety car there as it's picked up the midfield. So
it is right in the way through that first sector, Gus. So expect a lot of those drivers on the soft tyres to pit for meds. They should take them to the end, now, barring no safety cars.
I'll just bring up that replay of the big crash that we had before that safety car came out. And here we go. It was all looking reasonably orderly. We had a few guys just running a bit wide at the corners. You see, just picking up a few of them there, cutting the corners. But then we had, Williams get turned around and an Alfa Romeo, and then absolutely everyone piled into the side of them. And it was actually tagged by his teammate. So Smitty tagged his teammate there and put himself into the wall afterwards. So I can imagine he had pretty hot rear tyres there and resulted in him getting spearing off into the wall and out of the race.
Well, I think we will be seeing an investigation for lap 1 and lap 4, regardless of whether people report it or not, because it's quite a big incident.
We're just seeing a number of the leaders coming to the pits now. We've got Dalek, Sneaky, Skin, Saggy, and Lick all jumping onto the medium tyre. So Lick is serving that 5-second penalty now in the Aston Martin pit box, which the game lets you do, but in real life you can't. He's actually tracking on another set of the soft tyres, so he's committing to the 2-stop. Oh, what do you reckon, Seb? Do you reckon the mediums could have made it from here, or is he making the right call now?
I think that the mediums could have easily made it to the end from here. Only F1 did it in Tier 3. I'm just bemused by CGM, Frozzle, and Kalios, really, Gus, because I've had the chance to come in for some fresh meds and haven't taken that opportunity.
I mean, surely if CJM stayed out, Kalios should have pitted. Split the strategies at least so that you're covering all bases, but now they've both committed to staying out.
It's playing into Skins and Sneaky's hand, and Skins, P6, and I'd say provisional P1 because, actually no, Nemo's provisional P1 because he is on the mediums as well. Whether he pits again or not, that's a big question. Same for Vasa in the Alpine. But Skins with his pace, you'd assume would get up there.
Absolutely. So Kalios is our effective race leader. He has stopped once, but I think he's gone from soft straight onto softs again. So he will have to stop again one more time. We've got Psycho, though. P10 has stopped twice already in this race, and everyone behind him has stopped twice as well. So quite a bit of drama in these opening 6 laps, and we're not even halfway through. In
4 laps, we've lost 3 drivers, so I'll not be surprised if that trend keeps going on. But as you lose more drivers, you tend to get less incidents, less cars on track, less battles. It's a little numbers thing.
Absolutely. So we've got Zay as well, who's opted to put on some fresh soft tyres down in P14. Kind of makes sense that he'd be able to pick out a few moves at the back of the field, but he'll have to pit again, and is he counting on a 3rd safety car to be called out in this race? And from what we've seen so far, that's a very strong possibility, but as you stated, we're slowly losing drivers, so how many more of them are going to crash out?
Let's hope no more. Let's hope for a clean race till the end. But something about the previous 2 races and the history of the circuit and those tight walls suggest that maybe it won't be that way.
So make it just 4 seconds behind the back of the safety car train, so it won't be too long until we have everyone bunched up again, and we should hopefully be back racing at the end of this lap.
See how slow that safety car is. All the cars bunching up through turn 13. So there's some of them opting for different lines just to avoid running to the back of each other. But they're all going to build up right now, Gus, because tyre warming's so crucial for well over half this grid, around 3/4 of it, really. You need to get those medium tyres fired up. You need to get them on the same level as the soft tyres. In front we have 3 soft runners of CJM, Frozzle and Kalios. In 11th and 14th we've got Lick and Zay, who've got quite a lot of pace to them, and they're on fresh softs to boot as well. I think the safety car to get called in the next 20 seconds or so. But once again, this might be a bit late. There it is. Not a lot of space to work with once again for CJM.
Nemo as well still has to serve that drive through, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him peel off at the end of this lap.
We just wait for the safety to come in. This driver's throttles to be released and unlimited. See that weaving down the straight, waiting and waiting, waiting. Safety car's in, and CJM hasn't caught the field off guard again, though. Fossil right there. You see behind his teammate Kalios looking around the outside. Oh, down the inside goes Sneaky, making it 3 wide into turn 1. It looks like he's got the move done. Side by side with Skins. 4P5. And the field through turn 3, turn 4. He's got the move done. He's into P5. It's a good dive there from the Red Bull driver. Trying to make moves, trying to take that provisional lead. Down the field, looks like everything's clean so far. Let's hope it stays that way. Knocking on wood right now, Gus. Oh, a car wide, that's faster. Dalek having a look down the inside. Look at that first sector, and Dalek going a bit wide on the exit of turn 10 will pick up a time penalty. Juicing and juicing, trying to get the move done on Vasa. Can't get it done, but up ahead, Sneaky, Nemo and Skins. Jostling position through turn 13, 14, now 15, on the run down to 16. Sneaky juicing his way in front, and Skins has gotten in front of Sneaky this time. But a poor run, Gus, out of 17 and through 18. On the run down to 22, could see him vulnerable at the last corner.
We've got a big incident again at the back, and it looks like we've got a number of cars out. Mika and Dodge have crashed, and we have another safety car. We have yet to have a full lap of green flag racing, and we have another safety car. I just saw it. It looked like the maybe Zay, looked like an Alfa Romeo was stationary on the track, and I just wonder if it's caught out the Alpine and the Williams, Mika and Dodge. Combat lucky to survive that one as well, but we have another safety car. Poor Nemo still hasn't been able to serve his drive-through penalty yet, and his teammates picked up a 3-second penalty. I was going to say, I mean, he got penalised for that. Saggy Kid was on his outside. He was even further out of the track limits, as we now see we got CJM, Frozzle, and Kalios coming into the pits. Vasa as well coming in. Get some new tyres.
It's our third safety car already, Gus. Maximum of 5 in a 50% race.
Oh, Mercedes are double stacking as well.
As you said before, they could have easily avoided that. Just split the strategy, cover all bases.
Absolutely. Alfa Romeo having to double stack as well, but I think Zay had some wing damage from that incident that resulted in this safety car, so hopefully this is just a one-lap safety car. Field is all bunched up before they've even got to start a sector 2, so hopefully we'll be back to green flag racing at the end of this lap.
Yeah, Mika and Dodge out the race, so seems like my wish of having green flag racing for the rest of the race did not come true. Touching wood didn't help either.
Commentator's curse, I think. He said it, therefore it's not going to happen.
Alright. I believe we will have a safety car later on in this race. Does that help? It might. It might. You can only pray, but as you were saying, all that field is bunched up, so we should be able to go have green flag racing. 16 laps from lap 10. Including lap 10. Skins will lead us away this time after some good battling with Sneaky and Nemo. And Nemo hasn't served that drive-through as well, so pass with only 2 drivers with penalties on the grid. Like a 3-second he picked up on that safety car restart last time around. Well, Nemo will most certainly have some work to do, and he'd be praying for that safety car.
Absolutely. We've now got a Lick is currently P5 with 2 stops. Zay at the back has stopped 3 times. It's only lap 9. This race is turning to something else, and it looks like we will be doing another lap of safety car. Vasa, one of the drivers to pit at the start of the safety car period, opted to go onto the soft tyres. Apart from Lick, everyone else is on the medium tyres still.
Vasa as well. Interesting decisions from the both of them. I would have expected Lick to pit in the last 2 laps, but I think he's just going to ride the safety car wave, to be honest with you, Gus. And, try and see them out, but remember, only 2 more left. If we keep getting them at the same rate we are, there'll be no more safety cars from lap 15 onwards.
Yeah, Lick's also not had to stress those soft tyres, so they will last a while if they've not had a full lap of 100% throttle. But he started on the soft tyre as well, so he will have to change to the medium, and I don't know, I feel like that safety car was probably his opportunity to do that cheaply.
What's interesting is, per safety car, you lose around 3 to 6% wear, depending on how hard you work those tyres, and Jeddah is a circuit with a lot of corners, and you need to do a lot of tyre warming, because you have to have those tyres prepared for turn 1, 2, 3, and the rest of that first sector. Otherwise, you will be losing a lot of times the cars around you, and potentially backing it somewhere. So, it is a slight advantage to be on the softs, considering you keep those tyre temps up easier, but in terms of tyre wear, I'm not so sure, Gus, that this will work out for him.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's backing himself into a strategic corner. He'll end up losing some track position because of it. Thank you very much for the follow, Ice Free Toast and Blue Devil. Those guys just sticking around, so should be the last lap of safety car. We should be back to green flag racing again. And there we go, we got the signal. So Skins in the lead of this race, so he will be backing up the field now on this DRS straight. All the drivers vigorously weaving to generate some temperature into their tyres. As Seb said earlier, the safety car does go ridiculously slowly around this track. Very hard to get those temps up in the medium tyres. You really have to keep them warm. There we go, safety car's into the pit lane, so Skins can go at any point now. Still weaving, and he's picking up the pace, and he's gone. Oh, look at that. We've got 3 wide. Oh, there's actually overtaking before the line. Oh, Nemo's been disqualified for ignoring his drive-through penalty. And we've got 4 or 5 wide going into turn 1.
Just see Lick on the outside, which comes the inside for turn 4. Bit of bargy between Dalek and Lick.
Dalek almost ending up in the wall with that. He did well to avoid losing control.
So CJM right behind him. CJM.
Boy, looked like he was going straight off.
Yeah. Thought so as well. It's just,
I thought he had a broken steering wheel or something. He just went dead straight at a right-handed corner.
Oh, I've seen that before, and I think you're having some internet issues for the Mercedes reserve. Psycho right behind him, he can see all this. This might be unselling the AlphaTauri. Meanwhile, down the field, Zay and Kalios exchanging positions for P10. But eyes back up ahead, CJM on the trail of Dalek, and up ahead, Lick really putting the pressure on the Ferrari of Saggy Kid. On the run down to turn 22. This is a brave spot to go for a move. It's up ahead, Sneaky having a look at Skins, but Lick using the RS to his advantage, storming around the outside, taking P3, and he's got Sneaky right there. He's had a good run. No, he's dropping it a bit. Nearly losing it. So rarely you see them lose it out of 24, but as you said, brilliant save. And CJM now, he's got a great run on Dalek. On the run down to the final corner, we saw this. We see this all the time. Might go for a switchback. Dalek a bit deep. The Mercedes will undercut him. Oh, what a nice switchback, Gus. He's got a bit of straight line speed.
There's a big incident at the back again. And it looks like, yeah, we've got an Alfa Romeo in the wall. A Mercedes is stuck and an Alpine is stuck. Psycho's picked up a 5-second penalty for something.
Severe collision with Zay, apparently. And Zay's got the exact same thing, but with Kalios.
And 3 of them peeling off for another wing change. It's 4 stops now for the race for those guys. Zay's actually hit the wall on the entrance to the pit lane, so Kalios and Vasa had to check up there. Oh, what is this race?
Oh, it's all over the place at the moment. Saggy Kid, 3-second time penalty. Next driver to get a penalty next to his name, but right now, Lick, he is steaming on those soft tyres. He's really got them to fire up, Gus. He's got to take advantage of them, though. Maybe the same life as these mediums. But my oh my, he's got about 3 laps to make use of them before those mediums start to take over in pace. Missing the apex of turn 16, and that's going to affect his run out of 17 and 18. All the way. And we got this little train from P1 all the way to P6. Skins leads from Sneaky, then Lick, as we mentioned. Saggy behind with that time penalty he just picked up, and CJM, he's still not out of this race for the race win just yet. Dalek behind, don't forget about him. Saggy Kid jumping all over the place at the moment.
Was shocking, that one. CJM and Saggy Kid both seem to have some connection issues. Oi.
Oh.
How can you overtake a car when they just keep jumping around the track like that?
Well, what he needs is pure traction. He might have just got that. Pucked in the slipstream. Bit of ERS. Both the Mercedes and Ferrari. It's for Ferrari versus Mercedes engine is CJM. Too much straight line speed around the outside. That'll do his cause right nicely for a race win, but he still has 3 cars to navigate to get to that P1 spot. Lick, Sneaky, and Skins. You just have to assume without a safety car, Lick will be pitting again.
Yeah, this is what I mean with his pushed himself into a strategic corner. He's got to pit again onto medium tyres, and he's just running out of laps. And he's picked up a 3-second penalty as well, just running a little bit wide there through the end of sector 1. And it's going to hurt his chances of getting a decent result here.
Well, that might just be the effect of dirty air. To have such a big effect through that first sector. It'd be worth around 2/10 if you're equal on paces. Oh, you see him hit the wall. That might be overheating right fronts right now, Gus.
Yeah, absolutely. The number of really high speed, hard corners absolutely kills those front tyres. And they're only going to get worse from here.
You see, Skins will become vulnerable here to DRS. Sneaky with a pretty good run. Lick right behind him. We'll see a bit of leapfrogging here. Sneaky to P1. Can Lick take P2? Down the inside of the McLaren driver. Goes Lick. P2 in the championship. He's P2 in the race. He takes that spot. He's got DRS now to make a charge at Sneaky into turn 1. Here they go, slipstreaming each other, dragging along the straight. Sneaky moves to the inside. Lick nearly hits him as they'll try and break each other into turn 1. Now turn 2, Sneaky gets the inside line. They touch wheel. Sneaky gets banged from behind by Skins, but Lick with the superior traction from the soft tyres will take P1 from the Red Bull. He's hit the inside wall, Gus. That might be damage. I think it is. You see him struggling through turn 5, 6, and now 7, side by side with the Red Bull. This is going to get hairy. This will open up door for Skins now, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. He had to cut the corner. He's cut another one as well. He keeps running wide. CJM behind him as well. Picking up a 3-second penalty. Sneaky going ultra defensive and run into the hairpin. Manages to hold off Lick and Skins, but Skins up the inside, gets the Aston Martin done, and he's got a great run out of it as well, using it as a bit of a slingshot just to follow the Red Bull through. And look at these guys, they're getting so close now. We've got the top 6 position all within a second of each other.
Oh, Lick has hit the wall again, Gus, and I assume he's had to be pitting. He has to be pitting at the end of this lap. You can see CJM, he's right back in this race. He's storming through. All that battling, all that squabbling has meant he's been right on the back of Skins and Sneaky, but Lick has missed the apex, and he's hit CJM as well. And they might have all just picked up penalties there.
The Haas is in the wall as well. Dalek just smashed the wall. That's going to be some wing damage as well. They're 3 wide on the straight as they follow the Ferrari through.
CJM had to get the position back. He did the move off the track and then slid Dalek and Sagakid through. Meanwhile, up the front, Skins and Sneaky side by side out of turn 27. Who's got DRS? I believe neither of them do. Neither of them have DRS. They crossed the detection point at the same time. So both of them just going to have to go down the straights behind. Dalek and Sagakid exchanging positions. Dalek down the inside. Sagakid trying to outbrake Dalek, and he might have just done that, Gus, down the inside of turn 2, and I think he's got that move done, and he has. Great racing by these 3, but Dalek is not going to give up. Down the inside of turn 4 is crazy, but he decides to back out smartly. Now go Linus turn now through the first sector. Lick, as I mentioned, in the pits now, and CJM right there behind Dalek, but he's not there with the top 2.
Just on board with Dalek at the moment, and he's definitely having to lift through those corners in Sector 1. I think he's definitely picked up some wing damage after slapping that wall at the exit of the fast chicane as CJM goes around the outside of the hairpin, and he picks up that P4. Dalek's going to try and make it a little bit difficult for him, but he's had to slot in behind as CJM just too much downforce and able to make light work of that Haas.
It's a smart move to go around the outside of turn 13, use the banking. The car on the inside can't really dive you that much because they could get turned around with the game's physics. I don't forget about that for a second. Sneaky and Skins. It's about to be round 4 of this battle for the race lead. They're going at it. They're really going at it. Skins on around 50% ERS. Sneaky at 60. Sneaky has the DRS this time around, but this will change onto the main straight. We've got yellow flags all the way in the second sector, and it's a virtual safety car. Sneaky couldn't get the move done.
Oh, Lick has lost his front wing again. He's on the medium tyres, and he's had a spin out of the hairpin, and he's lost his entire front wing. He's now stationary on the track, waiting for some traffic to go by. And his race is just going from bad to worse. There is a full safety car deployed now as well. He's trying to do an Austin Powers there on the straight. Oh, as he just smashes his diffuser into the wall, and he's disqualified for parking the car. Oh, this game sometimes is brutal. Just jumping across into the pits now. A number of the leaders have come in for soft tyres. We are within 9 laps of the finish line, and most of the leaders pitting for soft. Skins and Sneaky both opting to stay out. Our 2 race leaders maintaining position, so the virtual safety car was deployed just as Sneaky was about to overtake in the DRS straight. But Saggy Kid, CJM, Frozzle, Dalek, and Combat Rat all pitting for soft tyres. So keep an eye on this battle. Skins and Sneaky, they may just find that they don't have the tyre life to compete against those who've just pitted.
I don't think they will, and I think Frozzle's in a kind of a great spot right now. You see Skin Sneaky on those 9-lap old mediums. You got Saggy Kid and CJM and Dalek, all with time penalties to their name. So they may be on those soft tyres, but come the end of the race, if they haven't pulled those 3-second gaps, then they could be in for a world of hurt going down that timing tower. See Zay staying out on the mediums, opting to pit. Psycho Kalios both pitting. Vasa staying out in P11. So 11 runners left in this race. We got 10 or 9.5 laps remaining. I believe we'll have 7 laps of green flag racing and the potential of one more safety car left in this race. It's really heating up right now.
Well, we're down to 11 drivers, so if one more drops off, then you're guaranteed to get points.
Or not necessarily, Gus.
Well,
they gotta make the 90% rule first
that's
off.
True. That is true. At this rate, we're we're not going to have a lot of cars left at the end, especially with the safety car going to bunch everyone up again. So still a lot of spread. We've got Vassar still in sector 2 while the safety car's about to cross the start-finish line, but I think probably by the end of the next lap we should have everyone bunched up. We go back to green flag by the end of lap 18, or start of lap 18. I don't know math.
Something like that. 8 laps of green flag racing. Oh, key thing right now, well, I say right now, when we get green flag racing, is that Gins and Sneaky are able to work together or just pull away from the soft runners at the safety car restart, so that by the time DRS gets enabled, if we have green flag racing from lap 18 and we get DRS from lap 20, they are no further than half a second behind one of the soft runners. They need to be within that DRS. It will help them massively in this race. If they're not within that DRS or not even ahead by the time lap 20, then they can kiss their chances of a race win goodbye if they're not getting a safety car by around lap 21.
So just having a look at the number of stops so far, Zay has pit 4 times and he's still in P8, so he's doing well to get a handful of points there. Apparently he does have some diffuser damage from being hit from behind earlier in the race, so good on him to persisting. If he can just come across and get the checkered flag, he'll be guaranteed some points. So great effort from him. I dare say there's a number of other pretty battered cars with a similar story to tell.
And Gus, just some news for you. According to Ali, I am 12, so thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah, thought so. Looks like Vassar will be catching up by the end of the second sector. When we get green flag racing, though, is the big question. I think we will. I don't think we can. And we will. So, hopefully Skins and Sneaky have been doing their homework, keeping those tyres warm, working all 4 of them. You see them just weave both through 26 on the run down to 27. Interesting enough, they're not slowing down to let the safety car get into the pits so they can catch the field by surprise. They have 27, but they're just trying to work and hit those tyres up the temp. Safety car now in the pit lane and is in the pits, waiting for Skins to call the race and go, and he has gone, but Sneaky is right alongside him. He's pulled into the slipstream and he's pulled out looking for the outside line into turn 1. Here we go, a couple of side-by-sides down the field, and there's that Ferrari of Sega Kid getting his nose in there. CJM poking his nose in there as well, and he might have just hit Sega Kid and gotten by with that contact. Sega Kid might fall down to P5 here. He's got the inside line of turn 4. Frozzle will have to back out, and that might open the door to Dalek now down the field. Looks all pretty clean so far. You see all of them within that long DRS train that could form up come lap 20. Green flag racing for lap 18. We do have these 8 laps of green flag racing to the line. Hopefully no more safety cars. We can only pray, Gus. We can only pray.
Absolutely. Don't forget as well, we've got a number of penalties still on these drivers, so that will come into play when they cross the checker flag at the end of lap 25. But at the moment, it's Skins and Sneaky leading the field. All of them on medium time. So, and we've got Sagi Kids picked up a 3-second penalty as well, so he's up to 6 seconds now.
And CJM might be going for a move here, Gus. This is really brave. On the outside of turn 22, Sneaky nearly squeezed him into the wall through turn 21. And it meant the Mercedes driver had to back out of a move, but I think that was for the best. Might work out here, though. On the run down to turn 27, both are juicing. Both don't want to lose position. Skins could become a sitting duck. CJM having looked at the inside. Sneaky going for a lunge. Skins has to,
he's contacted him.
And there's contact.
Ferrari's lost his bit of his front wing. There he ran to the back of CJM, who had to check up because of Sneaky moving across the line. And Saggy's been swamped.
It's been absolutely swamped, Gus. And here comes Dalek looking for 2 in 1 around the outside to the inside of Frozzle. They're going side by side. Some brilliant racing on display. Hopefully it stays clean. Frozzle got the inside for turn 4. Dalek will have to back out, and he does. Frozzle will keep P4 out of turn 4, and he's got CJM, Sneaky, and Skins up ahead, but he's got to dispatch Sneaky and Skins if he wants a race win. CJM does have that time penalty.
Sagi is absolutely plummeting through the field. That front wing damage is costing him dearly. He's almost out of the points now as Vasa goes past him as well. Zay just a little bit further behind with that diffused damage.
You see right now, top 3, less than 5/10, so it's just around that gap. You can see how good the softs are. One bad run and it could just be all over, race over in terms of race win for these two medium runners. CJM has all the life in these tyres to make it work. But Sneaky and Skins are matching him for pace. Here they go now, final sector before we get DRS enabled for all of these competitors, as long as they're in that 1 second gap of each other. Here comes Sneaky in that slipstream. He really wants to get in front of Skins here. He does not want to be behind CJM or Skins. Down the inside he goes, going for a lunge once again like he did in lap 18. He does in lap 19, and then neck and neck out the corner of turn 27. Here we go, ticking over to lap 20, and CJM's got a brilliant run, Gus. Look at this, down the inside, 3 wide. Sneaky showing in the inside wall, but CJM having none of it. 3 wide into turn 1, Skins around the outside, rubbing with CJM, and Sneaky could try and go around the outside turn 2. And a snap, and Skins going to the inside turn 4, he's lost to Fossil through to P2.
You just saw there, Sneaky coming out of that corner. He lost a bit of the rear, and Skins just unfortunately just caught the side of him. And I think Sneaky's got some wing damage now. He's dropping down the order. Skins as well, I think, has got a little bit of damage too. And that's just not what we wanted to see. CJM taking the lead of the race, followed by Frozzle, and you can see just a little bit further back, Combat making a little bit of a move up the inside of the Rebel. The 3 wide going round the hairpin. Combat's got it done. Sneaky, though, I think he's got wing damage. He's dropping down through the order. Psycho going around the outside of Kalios, heading to the right-hander. And they go line astern. We've got the McLaren's 4th and 5th now, but... Oh, is we still side by side. Kalios getting over Psycho. Sneaky just staying in front there.
You can see Sneaky getting massive oversteer through the left-hander turn 13 and allowed Combat Rat through. Combat Rat into P5. You can see Psycho losing out to Kalios because he's being cautious of Sneaky. Right now, it is CJM's race to take. He's got that 1 second to Frozzle at the moment, but Frozzle is slowly gaining. But meanwhile, eyes are on the battle for P6 at the moment. Sneaky, Kalios, Psycho, all within half a second of each other. Skins. They exit turn 27.
Skins as well all over the back of Dalek there. I don't know if he made a mistake or if his tyres are starting to go off a bit, but Skins still trying to get back on that podium.
Sneaky into the pits, Gus, so he definitely did have damage, as you pointed out earlier on. Right now, Price Skins isn't struggling as much, but his teammate Combat Rat and his brother all over the back of him. Right there, but struggling a bit through this first sector.
Yeah, Skins has got front wing damage. He's shifting down a lot, trying to keep him between the lines here. He's going to have to let his teammate through, try and get the podium. You can't have Dalek get more than 3 seconds out in front, or he will be on that podium. McLaren are going to have to swap these places, and they are. Looks like Combat got a better run. No, Skins still staying in front. This is not for the benefit of the team. You have to let him through.
Oh, you can see that understeer Combat Rat gets in the dirty air. Meanwhile, up ahead, Frozzle is within DRS range of CJM here. Really pushing Frozzle. I said he was a dark horse at the start of the night, the way he was driving. But he could very well turn out. He's within DRS range. He will get the benefit of slipstream as well come the end of the straight. That gap 9/10. He doesn't have that ERS though compared to CJM. 25% versus 5%. You can tell that Alfa Romeo really pushing once that first race win next to his name would be an absolute statement for him. Meanwhile, Combat Rat and Skins have finally switched positions down for P4, and Skins has a job of trying to hold off Kalios and Psycho behind, but Psycho got a brilliant run on Kalios now. Out of turn 27. Cross over to lap 22, down to turn 1, here we go. AlphaTauri versus Mercedes. The AlphaTauri outbreaks the Mercedes, but goes deep. This could open up the door for a switchback for Kalios, but it's just blocked off nicely. Skins broken front wing is pulls a poor exit out of the AlphaTauri, and the AlphaTauri trying to show the wall for the Mercedes. The Mercedes having to back out, wanting to back out. He'll live to see another day. Right now, it is all happening over this field. Frozzle trying to stay within that 1 second. Use that DRS to CJM to his advantage. You got Dalek in P3 trying to make a gap to Combat Rat, which doesn't look like it's happening. Combat Rat now within a second of him,
I think
Gus.
Dalek must have damage because that gap was nearly out to 3 seconds at the start of the lap. So Combat been able to pull that back in just the first sector alone.
Big podium could be coming here for the McLarens in Tier 2. Big for the combined constructors. Only 14 races. A lot of moving, a lot of weight on each race, Gus. Each race that passes by is only 14 rounds. A lot more weight added to each race. You see Combat Rat up 6/10, and Dalek missing the corner. He's got another 3-second time penalty. That goes up to 6. Meanwhile, up ahead, Frozzle is well and truly outside the DRS range of CJM. But here comes Combat Rat, pushing around the outside with the DRS. That is as easy as you like. But don't give up just yet, Dalek. You do have a DRS run on the run down to turn 1 of lap 23. He's got a pretty good run. He's using the ERS at his disposal. Now opens up the DRS. He's coming into the pits, Gus. He's coming into the pits.
Yeah, he's got a 6-second penalty, so he knows he's going to lose all those positions anyways. We see Psycho having a go at Skins as well. And the Mercedes of Halios trying to go down the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. That is not a smart move at all. He backs out at the last minute very wisely, but he has got the move done on the exit of turn 2. And Skins losing quite a bit of time with that front wing damage he's picked up a little bit earlier.
But Skins running in the back of Kalios. Kalios just holds onto it as Sneaky picks up the fastest lap of the race. But just on that turn 1 dive, I think he was going for a look, but it might have just paid out because he went a bit too deep, touched Skins, and it meant that Skins and Psycho had a bit of a squabble, and he was able to do that switchback that we saw. Yellow flag, sector 1. That's Dalek spun around. His night has come to an end, and I don't think we'll get a safety car for the final 2.5 laps. That gap at the front is 2.3 seconds. That is blown out by 8/10 in a past lap or so.
And CJM as well, just 7/10 more to go, and he will hold on to this race win. He does have a 3-second penalty. But at the moment, that gap is blowing out by about a 10th every few seconds, so a lot of pace being shown by the Mercedes driver.
Frozzle, not a single warning to his name. CJM got 4 of them. Could be just seeing a bit of trickery, but battle for P4 right now. Kalios all over the back of Psycho. Psycho blinking heavily. Kalios showing to the inside, moving to the inside, and Psycho will try and slingshot around the outside now. He will have DRS. He has the benefit. He was behind at the detection point, Gus, and he will just be flying away down the straight. But Kalios is not giving up. We'll tuck behind that slipstream, use a bit of that ERS. Yeah, I think he'll go for a later move. Down the line is more yellow flag, sector 3.
Yeah,
that's Dalek out of the race.
Chicane. I could hear the thud coming through the game audio then as we were basically on the other side of the wall from that. And no safety car at the moment. Skins picks up a 3-second penalty. That front wing damage really making it difficult for him to stay between the track limits.
It really is. And Vassar up 9 spots. He could be seen into P6 here, maybe even P5. Depending on what happens with these time penalties. Vassar all the way down, starting in P16. He's been very quiet, but keeping it clean. And that's all you have to do in order to score points at some tracks. And tracks like Jeddah, tracks like Monaco, tracks like Singapore. We will all be visiting Monaco and Singapore later on in the season. They all require level head, great concentration. They are races of attrition. That gap at the front, we're revisiting it, 2.85. It's flirting with 3 seconds, Gus. This is going to be tight. It's going to be very tight.
Absolutely, Frozzle's got to really pull out the best lap that he can possibly muster around this track one more time just to keep that under 3 seconds. But as they come across that start-finish line, it's sitting at 2.9, so just hanging on to it. He's got to use every little bit of ERS that he can, and if he's got any warnings in the bank, he should probably try and use them.
CJM and Frozzle have equal ERS. Meanwhile, CJM's teammate Kalios is going to breeze by Psycho down this main straight into P4. But this battle for P4 is not over just yet. Remember, we got 3 more DRS straights, or really 2.5, to navigate in this final lap of this Jeddah Corniche circuit. See them through this first sector. Psycho just falling off the back of Kalios. Kalios showing some supreme pace. Say getting a 3-second time penalty. All the way down in P9, that won't affect his race. Saggy Kid, 8.1 seconds off of him. But eyes to Psycho. He's just got to keep it clean. Just so he can get that P4. Stay within 3 seconds of Kalios. But he may want this on track, Gus, because as we've seen, you can see some unfair penalties unfair warnings, and they can get overturned.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep an eye on the delta. It's just hovering around that 3.2 seconds. It looks like in this final sector, which is pretty much just a straight and one corner, CJM may have it in the bag here. 3.4 seconds on the straight. They've both used every little bit of ERS they can possibly find out of the car. And coming around the final corner, CJM has a 3.5 second lead. He'll come across the line, take the checkered flag, and I think he's got it.
Sorry, Psycho and Kalios just rattling it out through the final corner. Psycho went round the outside. He swooped round the outside. He took P4 on track. Can Kalios get in with the slipstream and a bit of ERS and DRS? I don't think he can. He can't. Top three are settled as CJ and Frozel combo at Psycho, followed by Skins and Kalios with his 3-second penalty, dropping him below the McLaren with Vassar. A safe P7. Sneaky, it wasn't the race to beat. He'll drop all the way down to P8, starting in what was P2. Sees him score 4 points with Zay in P9. A very disappointing race for Zay. In the final point scoring position, I believe, going to the Saggy kid in that Ferrari. So albeit it's not a massive loss for Sneaky, to be honest, because, well, the closest person in the championship who scored more than him was Psycho. There's our podium.
Well, what a race that turned out to be. Congratulations to CJM picking up the race win. Frozel so close there, hanging on by half a second for P2, and a solid race from Combat Rat as well to come across in the final step of the podium. Great battle there from Psycho to hold on to P4. Skins so unlucky there in the last few laps. And P5, Kalios, good race from him. P6, Vasta, Sneaky, Zay, and Saggy Kid rounding out our top 10 with Dalek, Lick, Nemo, Mika, Dodge, Wahid and Smitty, and Mr. Spicer unfortunately not finishing this race. The fastest lap of the race also went to Sneaky, so he gets that bonus point as well. And Seb, what a race that turned out to be.
Absolute chaos, but we did see some good racing. A lot of instance on top of that, but it all turned out for a dramatic finish. It built up rather nicely. I think Sneaky and Skins, though, their decision to not pit onto soft on that final safety car will come to haunt them, Gus.
Absolutely, I think it will. With that close battling and through those very fast, twisty sections, I think that really cost them towards the back end of the race. But still, they did well to pull in some points. Yeah, I think they'll be lamenting about what could have been. Thank you very much. A few of you following: Ressa, Cassie Streamer, Jim Duck, Lennon Glenn. Thank you very much for the follow. Same to everyone else who I may have missed during the stream. It was so mental, I may have missed a few to call out. But thank you so much for your support this evening. We'll be back next week. I believe we'll be at Melbourne because we will be taking a break for the actual Melbourne Grand Prix. So it'll be great to have you join us then as well. It'll be the same time, 5 p.m. Melbourne time for Tier 3, concluding at 10 p.m. Melbourne time with the end of the Tier 2 race. So thank you so much for all of your company. Thank you to Seb and to all the other commentators this evening. We do appreciate your hard work. Thank you again, everyone, for your company, and we'll see you next time.
Ta-ta, farewell.